And we trust Endurance to pay us direct.
And the best part? Your rate stays locked in no matter how many claims you file.
If your car's under 20 years old, Endurance has you covered with unlimited miles. Plus, your plan includes 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere in the country.
So, who's gonna pay for your next breakdown? You?
Or Endurance.
Right now, you can get $300 off any plan, plus a year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free, all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. But you have to act now. Visit EnduranceWarranty.com or call 1-833-608-5583 for a free quote. That's 1-833-608-5583.
So a very important press conference we heard from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth talk about how the Iranian Navy is completely decimated, and Iran was the one. They wanted this ceasefire. They came to the table. The United States was flexing its military might. They succeeded in doing so with Operation Epic Fury, and now we wait and watch to see how this ceasefire unfolds. Hopefully it continues.
It's on pause for right now, but it's not over until it's over. And there are still certain conditions to be met.
Right.
No more uranium enrichment, no more access to such, and the Strait of Hormuz must stay open. You can charge tolls. I'm not really a fan of that, but it's part of brokering a deal for right now. And guess what, folks? They need to also include Hezbollah and the Houthis.
So important.
It must come to an end because that's another war through and by Iranian proxies that are actually.
You're watching theDove TV, encouraging and informative for Chico and the North State. Seen on KKRM 11, Channel 21, and these Dove TV affiliates. Good morning. You're tuned to theDove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. Everybody take a big breath.
Exhale.
All right. We're in a 2-week ceasefire.
That was like a cleansing breath, wasn't it?
Well, you know, that came late yesterday afternoon, and apparently they eked out some kind of a 2-week ceasefire.
Yeah.
Within about an hour of, everything being, I guess, wiped out.
Yeah, within like another 30 minutes, oil dropped down below $100.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a comment on that later.
All right, good.
I'm sure you do too. But the point is, we're in this 2-week period, so we'll see what happens. Apparently, the ships are going to start moving, and so it looks like to me there may be 2 goals here. One is get the straits open.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to happen, and apparently the ships are already starting to move, from what I understand. Secondly, is did the president and his ability to make deals in a global way really put Iran in a box?
Oh.
Because if they break the deal,
okay.
He's done everything he can to make a deal.
Yeah.
And listen, not one ship, not one airplane, not one military person has left the theater.
Right. True. Yeah.
They're all sitting there just waiting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. But
now I hear, and I don't know if this is true or not, it's hard to imagine, but I heard a report that said there are like 800 ships ready to go through the strait.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we'll see.
Man.
Anyway, ceasefire. Praise the Lord for that.
Yes, indeed.
And war is not a good thing.
It's a
all
good,
the way around.
especially a ceasefire before a whole civilization was about to be destroyed.
Okay. So
I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, we'll get into that later.
All right.
Because I think, again, unless you read The Art of the Deal, let me ask you this.
Okay.
We didn't like the rhetoric.
Exactly, right.
Did it work?
Seems to.
Okay. End of story. End of story.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. A lot going on in the news. We'll get you caught up on that. There is a change in the weather. we'll talk about that. And Mr. Bilden's here.
Yes, good
From his
morning.
old neighborhood.
It's a great day. It's hump day. Good Wednesday to you. And it is also National All Is Ours Day.
All is ours.
Yeah, and now...
Sounds like a bad phone call.
You know what? I think it's misnamed, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It takes us along 3 views of appreciation. First approach is to be looked at a time to reflect on all the beauty of nature and all the wonderful things in life around us. Second, to celebrate the day by appreciating everything we have. And third, a way to view the day by sharing all that we have. So it's National All Is Ours Day, but is it really? I think it's All Is His Day. And we should be grateful for it.
Amen.
And what we have, we should appreciate and share and be good stewards of this land in which he put us. So it's all is ours, but is it really? Also, National, oh, you're going to like this, Perry, National Empanada Day.
Oh.
Recognizing a delicious pastry that comes in several different forms. The name empanada comes from the Galician, Portuguese, and Spanish verb empanadar, meaning to wrap or coat in bread. Empanadas are made by folding the dough or bread around a seasoned pastry. It's a lot of choices to go into the interior. You can make empanadas with meat, cheese, vegetables, or fruit fillings. However you want to choose to make it, it's yours on this day. It's Empanada Day. Looks like Hot Pockets, doesn't it?
Yeah. Depending, I've seen them small and I've seen them big. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
If you go to let's see, if you go to a Commonwealth country, you'll see little, what they call dairies at each end of a town.
Okay.
And you go in there, and it basically is it's a bakery and a ice cream shop.
Oh.
And you'll find the empanadas in there, but big ones.
Really? Okay.
And I think the Brits call them just flat old meat sandwiches.
Oh, yes. There's a Broadway play about meat sandwiches.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd. It was an interesting.
So, but anyway, yeah, they're good.
Now, isn't an empanada dough wrapped around fruit? Isn't that called a turnover?
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, well,
So empanada, I thought had mainly, more meat type things.
That's what I thought too.
And
yeah.
I've seen them like hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they're tasty. They're good. Yeah.
All right, take it to the zoo because it's National Zoo Lovers Day, encouraging us on this day to explore our local zoos. Each year, millions of people visit zoos. They learn about the many animals that live there. But did you know they're also known as zoological parks? And many of them serve as breeding centers, and these facilities are relied upon when species are endangered or at risk of becoming endangered. They also provide education to the public about a broad variety of animals and their habitats. And the Vienna Zoo is the oldest. It opened in 1765. The first zoo in the United States was the Central Park Zoo. Oh. It opened the last year of in 1864. Of the Civil War, and there are 350 zoos in the United States. 175 million people visit a zoo every year, and Disney's Animal Kingdom has had more than 9.8 million annual visitors to their zoo. Wow. So I can't even remember the last time I went to the zoo, but our most prominent...
You live in a zoo.
I live in a zoo.
9 grandkids?
Yeah, I should rephrase that and rethink that. You put that very well. Yeah, that's true. But let's say this. I haven't been to the Portland Zoo in a long time. It's been many years, but...
Have you ever been to wildlife safari?
I've never done that either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway...
that's a zoo or a, what do they call, a zoological park?
I think that's more of a park because you kind of drive through and wave at things.
Yeah.
They had this wild cat zoo down here, or park, on your way to Cave Junction.
I remember that too.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's still there. But,
I don't know either. Yeah.
Anyway, you got to be mindful of them because you're taking them out of their climate and sticking them in your climate.
There are a whole bunch of factors involved in this, but the breeding portion of it is pretty valid. I have been. I took my wife once to the very first zoo in America.
Yeah.
In Central Park.
Yeah.
And she didn't like it.
She didn't like it.
She goes, I don't want to do this. The animals look sad.
Oh.
Yeah, they look sad.
If you look at them as rescued.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You got to look at this in a different way. And part of it is the breeding and the endangered species and such things. But yeah, and it's fun to go see the animals that you wouldn't normally see.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of that ring of kids running around the house.
Well, let's see. So zoos are designed for, something doesn't go out of extension or for breeding purposes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's part of the reason. I think zoos initially were just to show people some of the exotic animals that they had never seen, or at least seen in person. I don't know, but yeah, I think they serve a real purpose now in that regard, protecting endangered species, breeding programs. I know pandas are endangered, and I think the only thing that's going on, at least, is securing their numbers are through zoos.
Okay. So the Building Zoo gave birth to 3 children.
3.
And now you got 9 grandchildren.
They exploded.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're a good zookeeper.
Yeah.
You get an A in zookeeping.
And you come up to my property when all those animals were running around there.
Yep.
They're on quads. They're on riding mowers. They're on bikes. They're throwing balls. They're chasing dogs.
You need to just have an outdoor empanada machine.
I would take it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Here's Shady Coast Zookeeper.
A look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. In northern Oregon and southern Washington, mostly sunny and calm with high temperatures in the upper 60s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, with lows tonight in the low 40s under clear skies. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with mostly sunny skies and daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light northwest wind. Another nice day across central Oregon before changes come tomorrow, but mostly sunny today with highs near 70 in Prineville and mid 60s in Bend and Sun River, mostly sunny and near 70 over in Boise, Idaho. Along the coast, mostly sunny and low 60s in Coos Bay, a chance of showers in upper 50s for Port Orford and Brookings, and patchy fog, then a chance of showers in Crescent City, California with a high near 61. In southern Oregon, mostly sunny with a slight chance of showers for the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-70s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, and near 69 in Klamath Falls with a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Into Northern California, sunny, then a chance of showers in mid-70s in Wairika and near 81 in Redding. Sunny skies for Chico with a high near 82 and Sacramento near 83. In the Bay Area, sunny inland with highs near 77 in Santa Rosa and 78 in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high in the low 70s and early patchy fog in San Jose, otherwise sunny with a high in the upper 70s. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
And there's a picture of the San Fernando Valley.
I looked up. I was looking at my notes.
That's the Rogue Valley. Sorry about that. I figured it out, why that looks so bright. You have any idea?
No, I don't.
It's because we, in the state of Oregon, I forget what the year is, but we have to move everything away from incandescent lights. Most of that is LED lighting.
Oh, really? Oh.
We're changing to LED lighting.
No kidding.
Look at that. See how it glares?
It's really bright. Yes. Yeah.
So, if you go down to Tucson, you can't have lights that shine above so many feet. They have to shine down.
Really?
Because they have the observatories around on the mountains. So you can't have the reflection.
Oh, sure.
So I'm wondering if we could maybe do like an observatory ordinance.
Oh, yeah.
Make all the lights shine down instead of just out.
Hey, we're starting to glow.
Yeah.
We are glowing.
There you go.
All right. Well, many ask about life after death, and Pastor Jack Graham is in here, and he points out that Christ's resurrection is perhaps the greatest proof of all.
The empty tomb that day. There are unseen beings in a supernatural world. There is a heaven, there is a hell, there is an eternity and a life after death. And that ultimately is the question many want answered. It's an age-old question. It was asked by a man named Job. One of the early residents of the Bible was Job. And after going through extreme pain and suffering, Job asked the question of questions. If a man dies, shall he live again? If we die, is there a life after death? The resurrection demonstrates that Jesus holds the keys to life after death, that there is life in the future for you if you know Christ. God has spoken. His voice is clear. He lives. And Jesus has made him known to us. Amen. And he gives us a glimpse into this supernatural world, this life that is beyond. These things are written that you would believe, that you would come and see. And there are, according to the scripture, many infallible proofs. Proofs that are without question. True truths. So come and see. You owe it to yourself.
Yep.
Well, Sunday, this past Sunday, is the recognition of the one event that separates Christianity from every other religion in the world. And as much as we are to support Israel, the Bible tells us to do that. Pray for the peace of Israel. Pray for the Jews. Pray for the whole thing there. It doesn't eclipse John 14:6, where Jesus said, no one comes to the Father but through me. Okay? So let us understand, as we involved in everything and looking for a way to be nice, and we should, obviously, that doesn't mean that there are other ways of going to heaven. There's only one.
Right.
And Jesus himself gave the proclamation.
Yep. And you know what? There are lyrics of songs that always jump into my head at times like this. And in the lyrics of the old Gaither tune, an empty tomb is there to prove my Savior lives.
There you go.
That's wonderful.
And because he lives,
I can face tomorrow.
there you go.
Yes.
Good morning to you. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. And of course, the top story is the president has reached an agreement with Iran for a 2-week ceasefire. He announced it yesterday on Truth Social. And he basically said, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to a, quote, complete and immediate and safe opening of the Straits of Hormuz. So we'll see. Apparently, the ships are beginning to move. I don't know what you do with all of those mines.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
You know, from what I understand, I was looking at some nautical things yesterday. There is a path.
Oh, really?
There is a path.
Okay.
And so you're going to have to really manage the path through those waters.
Okay.
And so I don't know if Iran goes out there and gathers up all those mines, what the deal is, but the president said it is based upon 2 weeks of the ships beginning to flow. Now, where do we go from here? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. They gave a joint news conference this morning with the Secretary of War and the Chief Joints. He was giving his assessment. And I don't really know what's left in Iran. You know, Israel continues to bomb bridges. Okay. Iran is still throwing some missiles around even after the ceasefire. So it appears to me that the president's immediate goal was to get the straits open and get the oil flowing. Okay. It looks like he's going to have that for 2 weeks. Okay. I think it also is a setup that if Iran breaks this deal, if I can use the term of the president, all hell's going to break loose.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't removed anybody from the theater. All of our military is there, and they're all pointed in the right direction.
Okay.
And in a moment's notice, they can be back on the scene. So we'll just have to see what happens. But if Iran breaks the deal, the president has now given the world an opportunity. Now, the other thing is, will NATO nations, Europe, other countries go in and take advantage of the strait being open? And yet they didn't do anything to help us?
Of course they will.
Okay.
They're going to benefit from lower.
Isn't that another brilliant move on the president's part to put them right smack in the middle of everything?
Yeah. Yes. And as the president meets with the head of NATO, would you like to be a fly on the wall for that meeting?
Well, I've heard some people coming out of the Situation Room. Apparently, the president has another language he speaks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's multilingual.
Okay. Tell me a little more.
Well, it's I don't know if there is a culture around that. Well, there is a culture around that language.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a nation built on that language.
Okay.
But it's pretty rough.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
You know, sometimes sailors blush.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes we'd like our president to pause before he uses such language.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're in a 2-week ceasefire. We'll see what happens. We'll check out the oil prices coming up here. In the meantime, as you know, the president was pretty upset about somebody who leaked, a journalist who leaked, and they found him, or he came forward.
Oh, did they really? Oh.
He is a Jewish journalist.
What?
The identity of the journalist who first broke the sensitive story about the missing American has now been revealed. An Israeli journalist has come out and admitted to being the first to drop the bombshell details on the second missing U.S. airman. Guess who to?
I wonder who.
The New York Post.
Really? Because the Post is a friendly paper. The Post is not the Times. It's certainly not the Washington Post.
Okay.
The New York Post is a conservative paper. I wonder why they went with it.
Well, everybody now is doing what we know, and that is they're going to protect their sources.
Oh, yeah.
So is this Israeli journalist a U.S. citizen?
Oh, that's a great question.
We don't know.
Yeah. Whoa.
If he's not, does Israel take care of him? You know?
Yeah.
And is the New York Post complicit of going with a story that they didn't?
Boy, these are big questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, they apparently he's watching the news conference, this journalist, and says he just voluntarily came forward. I guess that would be a good thing, you know.
Well, yeah.
But I think it would be safer to come forward than it would be to get caught. You know. So we'll see. This is a story that doesn't have an end to it yet.
And how did he get the information?
Well, see.
Where did it come from?
So did it come within the administration? Is there a leak inside the Pentagon?
Yeah.
You know.
Whoa.
Okay. All right. Well, while things are happening over there in the Middle East, on this side of the globe, North Korea is flexing its missile muscles, and they were throwing some ballistic missiles into the sea. Apparently, they were trying, North Korea and South Korea were trying to warm relations. Well, it ended up a little too hot, I guess. And so what's Korea do? North Korea starts sending all these missiles into the ocean. And I think that's just a demonstration of, you know, don't mess with us.
Right, yeah.
And so that is just another warning on this side of the globe how messy things can be.
Yeah.
And you have a rogue nation known as North Korea.
Right.
And South Korea is trying to, you know, extend a little bit of an olive branch. But he basically said hours after the senior North Korea officials got together with the South Korea officials there in Seoul, basically released a crude insult against Seoul's hopes of warm relations by firing all these missiles in the sea. And so there's what's his name? Kim's daughter.
Or is it his daughter or his sister? I think his sister is next in line.
Is it his sister?
I think so.
I thought it was his daughter. My apologies. I can't say I know that. But she seems to be pretty tough, too.
Apparently so.
Well, when you're incubated in that,
yeah.
what do you do?
Well, when you believe your family is deity, there are some problems when that pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is an indication that, you know, Kim Jong-un is considering secession. Is he? Or succession?
You know, it's been speculated that there are some health issues.
Okay. Well, he smokes like a train.
He smokes and drinks like a
fish.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy does everything possibly wrong for your body. And of course, the people live one way, but I've been reading about his personal habits and tastes. He imports the finest of everything, including booze, by the case. This guy is over the top, but you know, it's one way for the people, another way for the leadership.
So the addiction gets him, huh?
Apparently so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, those are some of the top stories. We are in a 2-week ceasefire. We'll see how this works out. I don't know at the moment what Israel's role in the ceasefire is.
Yeah.
America and Iran have created a ceasefire, but not with Israel that we know of. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, that's an interesting proposition when you think about it. What is Israel's role in this, and do they cease operations and pause and watch? What do they do?
Before the president announced that he was going to take out electrical plants and bridges, Israel was in taking out bridges.
Yes.
They took out 11 bridges, and there were bridges that were like rail bridges and vehicle bridges that were primarily used for military purposes. So they took a bunch of those out. So that's why the president was threatening to take them out. They're over there taking them out. So you got to wonder if Bibi and the Donald are talking at night late and say, well, you do this and I'll do that. You know?
And do you wonder what's going on in the streets in Iran as well? Because I've been hearing that there are some spontaneous demonstrations going on in celebration of Iran winning this war, with the people out in the streets burning American flags, chanting death to America and death to Israel. And we know that there are a whole bunch of people who are seeking freedom in Iran, who have been protesting in the past, and with thousands of them being mowed down. And where are these people? What is the balance between what we're seeing in the streets right now, or at least being reported in the streets, which would be government-backed and probably, you know, they would probably be pushed into it, and where's this other contingent of people, the people who really are seeking freedom, who are hunkered down, according to the president, and waiting for his signal to hit the streets? What's going on?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
That's a great question. I think that the ones that are out protesting against America, obviously they've been propagandized and all that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it would be wise, ethical, strategic to give the citizens who are demonstrating for peace armament to defend themselves.
Oh, what a thought. What a thought. And
then you create a civil war.
And then, you know, part of this, too, is the flow of information. I heard a report yesterday that said even with Starlink and everything that Elon Musk had made available out there, it's around 1% or less of people in Iran who actually have access to the internet. So how are they disseminating information?
It is. All right. Well, anyway, those are the top stories on this Wednesday morning as we are looking. What do you call those meat things?
Empanadas.
Empanadas.
Yeah, hot pockets, baby.
Hot pockets. You want a big one or a little one? And what do you want in it?
Yeah, I'll take meat. I'll take, like, I don't care, beef. I'll take some pork. I'll take chicken. I don't care. I'm looking for some protein this morning. I need some protein. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go protein hunting. You ever seen one? We'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot him.
This is the proof that all around the evidence is speaking the truth from the center of my soul to the edge of the...
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Welcome to Fish Lake Resort, where adventure is everywhere, and everyone is your friend. The fishing is great, and the food is tasty. The RV sites are full hookup, and the cabins are cozy. It's always a good time at Fish Lake Resort, and the best part is, you can come visit any day of the year because we are open all year, 7 days a week. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
The 71.5 Golf Challenge arrives Saturday, May 16th with a 4-person scramble, morning and afternoon shotguns, and a 6:30 awards social. Register your team by April 1st for an early bird special. Score the team player pack for just $20 instead of $100 with the code EARLYBIRDIE. Become a sponsor and help kids across Southern Oregon. Visit 715.org or call 541-779-3275. At the 71.5 Golf Challenge, your drive saves lives.
Jerry, did you know that we're farmers?
Farmers? I knew there was a reason I like overalls.
At the Dove, we plant seeds of hope, truth, and the gospel every day.
And when those seeds land in the right hearts, lives change.
But every harvest needs more hands.
That's where you come in.
Today, become a farmer with the Dove. Plant a seed, help it grow.
Your gift reaches someone who needs hope.
Don't wait, join us in this harvest.
Let's grow something eternal together.
Give today at the Dove.
Okay, welcome back. 27 and a half minutes past the hour. Just a couple of backyard things. Representative Cliff Bentz, who represents the 2nd Congressional District in the state of Oregon, takes in, 30 counties out of the 36, you know. It's a big piece of real estate.
Big chunk, yeah.
Anyway, just a little bit of a side note. He was instrumental in securing $80 million for the Klamath Falls F-35 program there at the air base in Klamath Falls at Kingsley Field. The 27 budget includes $80 million for the new F-35 training center there at Kingsley Field. So the transition for the pilots there going from an F-15C to the F-35 is a big deal. They're calling it the F-35 Lightning II, which is really a remarkable aircraft. They said it's one of the most advanced fighter aircrafts in the world. And our own Kingsley Field here in Southern Oregon is going to receive the money. Congressman Bentz helped that to do the training there.
Amazing.
So that means right outside our door here, they'll come over here and get fuel.
That was my next question. You know, once in a while we see, you know, touch and goes here from Kingsley. And I always run out the door because when they put the coals to those babies, oh my goodness, it's something. So we're going to see these?
We probably will see them.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. So they have a few out of Beale. They have with these little crotch rockets out of Beale.
Okay, the crotch rocket. You strap one on, man.
That's what they do. And they're just a little short wing thing that they use for beginning training for pilots. They come out of Beale and they fly around. They come up here. If you see them, they look like a big black bee flying around.
Yeah.
Those are out of Beale. But when they bring the other ones in, the F-15s, they come out of Kingsley. But now we could be seeing down somewhere in the future F-35s.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
That'd cool, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to bring other things into perspective. If I was governor, president for a week or two, one thing I would do is figure out a way to help farmers. The last time I looked, we all like eating 3 times a day.
Yeah, that's a funny thing about that. Yeah.
It's a funny thing about that.
Yeah.
And yet, farmers are really getting a bad rap. Well, this high fuel prices is really impacting farmers all over the country, and especially right here in Oregon. Now, here's another part of high fuel prices that we don't think about. It also means high fertilizer prices.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You take high fertilizer prices and you take high fuel prices, and these farmers are really strapped. I'm wondering if we relook at agriculture in the United States and say to ourselves, look, we like eating, okay? We need to protect. The first thing we ought to do is get all the foreign-owned foreign-owned landowners out of our country.
Absolutely, yeah.
But in my opinion, we need to figure out a way to have farmers get fuel and fertilizer at bargain prices, no matter what the market is doing. Now, the interesting thing about farmers, they are subject to the rise and fall of these prices, but their crops are only subject to the market at the time that they harvest.
True. Yeah.
So the commodity market is entirely different than anything else we see out there, and it can rise and fall on a sneeze. You know, one day chicken's going to be this, the next day it can be down. Same thing with beef, same thing with corn, same thing with sugar beets. I mean, you can go on down the line here. But just be patient, folks, and help farmers. Gosh, I don't know how they do it. I mean, how are you going to spend $6, $7 to fill up your tractor with diesel and have that translate into profit in your corn? You just wiped your profit line out.
Yes.
So serious stuff. Anyway, that's my little argument for the day. Take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on.
It looks like we're getting a system, doesn't it?
Well, according to the zookeeper, yeah.
Apparently it's moving in. We're going to see a high of about 73 today in the valley and a 45% chance of showers. That'll increase as the day goes on because tomorrow's 70% chance, 80% chance on Friday. It's going to rain on Saturday and maybe on Sunday as well with temperatures in the 50s. But we need this moisture, and it is going to come. So we welcome it. And get ready. Things are going to get even greener.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, on Newsmax's Bianca Across the Nation, Representative Dan Muser discussed the impact of the DHS shutdown on current geopolitical situations. Let's listen.
Bianca, once again, the Democrats are acting in a manner that is not, frankly, in the interest of the United States. What they want to do is they want to stop deportations and they want to defund the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and as well, that most recent bill of theirs cut off all funding for Customs and Border Patrol as well, basically our homeland security. So we have a package that can go one of three ways. How I'd like to see it go is that we put all the funding into reconciliation because the Democrats have showed no willingness to negotiate whatsoever. I mean, literally, we started here. They started here. We came all the way over here, and they're moving the goalposts even further. So we should probably just do this through reconciliation, which we can take care of as Republicans, or we do both of these bills. One of them is ridiculous because it zeroes out the CBP, but we do them not just in sequence, simultaneously, and we get this matter behind us, particularly during wartime, particularly during a case where our homeland is, very, very emergency and serious situation. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's when is principle going to be part of being a public servant? Why does it have to be political? Where is principle in this?
Yeah.
Where's the principle of who you are as a person, and where's the principle of the issue?
Yeah, of the issue, rather than getting caught up in the person. I think we have this, the politics that are going on are so team-oriented right now that if your team is for something, we're going to be against it.
Yeah.
And even if it's the right thing.
See?
Yeah.
So where's the principle? Where's the principle of protecting America?
Exactly.
Where's the principle of making sure the TSA lines are not only staffed, but they're working?
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, empanadas are us. We'll be right back. We're going to go empanada hunting. You have to shoot one?
The crisis inside Ukraine has reached a catastrophic level, with the elderly Jews pushed to the very limit.
Go inside. She's freezing cold. There's no electricity, no heat, no water. Winter is now a weapon of war, used against the elderly, the mothers, and the young children.
They've been lined up here for hours. These are precious people who are hungry, and they have nothing. If someone doesn't do something soon, a humanitarian disaster is coming. So many Jewish people who are just waiting for someone to care enough to pick up the phone.
Fears are growing that without an emergency, full-scale response, thousands will die this winter.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews needs your $25 gift now to help rush a winter survival food box of emergency food for elderly Jews and families in Ukraine. Time is critical. Please give now.
They've felt the shaking of missiles. These are people who have already endured so much suffering and disaster.
The fellowship has been here and across the former Soviet Union for decades, but the need has never been more urgent.
taking out power, taking out water, simple water to drink. We're talking about the difference between life or death. Christian, Jew, standing shoulder to shoulder, saying, we're here to heal, we're here to help.
Your gift of only $25 helps rush a winter survival food box filled with life-saving emergency food for elderly Jews and families in Ukraine who are struggling daily to stay warm and fed. Please call or go online while there is still time.
Hi, welcome back. 23 minutes before the hour. We're going to check in with CBN News and our friend Chris Mitchell. He's been up since 4 o'clock in the morning over there.
Really?
Yeah, and he's actually talking to us this morning from his home. So let's check in with Chris.
I'm Chris Mitchell with CBN News, and it is almost 4 o'clock in the morning here, and just getting some reaction to what has been announced within the last hour and a half, 2 hours, is a ceasefire between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, negotiated by apparently Pakistan and a few other countries in Islamabad. So just to let you know, we was in the bomb shelter here in Jerusalem just about 2 hours ago as well. There are other attacks here against Israel. So the ceasefire seemingly hasn't been observed entirely by Iran. We understand that maybe Israel is attacking too some sites in Iran right now. But thanks for joining us, and this is some reaction to what has been happening. And according to the AP, the U.S. has halted all offensive operations against Iran, and yet there have been missiles alerts in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, despite this ceasefire. And the announcement on Truth Social by President Trump went like this. This will be a double ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we already met and exceeded all the military objectives and are far along with the definitive agreement concerning the long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it's a working basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the U.S. and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. And on behalf of the United States of America and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it's an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. And that 10 points plan would be from Iran, a guarantee of non-aggression against Iran, maintenance of Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz, acceptance of Iran's uranium enrichment, lifting of all primary and secondary sanctions, ending all UN Security Council and IAEA Board of Governors resolutions against Iran. It seems like that may be unlikely. Reparations to Iran for damages, withdrawal of all U.S. combat forces from the region, end to the war on all fronts, including against proxies in Lebanon, release of blocked Iranian assets abroad, and commitments to be formalized in a binding UN Security Council resolution, turning the agreements into international legal obligations. Apparently, Senator Lindsey Graham has already reacted to that. He says, like everyone, I hope we can end the regime of terror of the Iranian regime through diplomacy. He went on to send, he wanted to reaffirm his point of view that every ounce of the approximately 900 pounds of an highly enriched uranium has to be controlled by the U.S. and removed by Iran to prevent. And he did add that we must remember the Strait of Hormuz was attacked by Iran from the start of the war, destroying freedom of navigation, and going forward, it's imperative Iran is not rewarded for this hostile act against the world. So a lot of things happening. The official reaction of the Iranian government was done by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He said, on behalf of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I express gratitude and appreciation for my dear brothers, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Sharif. And he goes on to say, in response, they are considering the request based on the 15-point proposal, as well as the announcement by the president. about acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal. I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, if attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations. And so for a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination of Iran's armed forces with due consideration for technical limitations. Now, some other reaction from Iran goes on to say the head of the Iran's National Security Council just posted, "We told you from the start there's no option but to surrender to the great Iran." And this statement from the Supreme National Council said the enemy has suffered an undeniable defeat. Iran has achieved a great victory and forced the criminal America to accept its 10-point plan, in which the U.S. has fundamentally committed to non-aggression, continued Iranian control of the Strait of Hormuz, acceptance of uranium enrichment. Certainly, all these things will be discussed in the next 2 weeks, and also from the Foreign Minister of Pakistan. He welcomes the great leadership of both countries. And so that's from the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So God bless from Jerusalem. Bye-bye.
Well, only Chris would get up at 4 in the morning to help us understand some of this stuff. I think there's some things there's some takeaway. 2 weeks is kind of a simmer down time.
Okay.
The 10 points seem to be pretty far out there. The 1 point that the president demanded was the opening of the straits. Okay. I think we need to keep in mind, and I say this only because I think it's the truth. Okay. We're dealing with a death cult. And the fact that they're telling their people that they've won the war ought to tell you that there's some real discrepancies here.
Wouldn't you like to get on the radio in Iran and explain to the people how they've lost every level of leadership? They've been dismantled pretty much in their military, and but yet we won the war.
Well, the other thing we don't know, the people that have agreed to this ceasefire, are they the power people?
Oh yeah.
Are they a proxy? Of the supposedly the supreme leader is injured but hasn't spoken. But supposedly he's leading what? Doing what?
Yeah.
Is he coherent? I mean, so anyway, we need to be in prayer about this. But I think what Chris is trying to communicate to us there by going into the details. By the way, the head of Pakistan is a friend of the United States, and he's the one that's extended this out and has offered the opportunity to bring the two sides together. So kudos to him. The president's son-in-law, Kirchner, is in the middle of this. He was the architect of the Abraham Accord. So he's a smart guy. But anyway, you got all this stuff going on. But if you're listening to Chris in detail, basically what he is saying here is Israel is going to finish the job. Israel is going to finish the job.
All right.
Okay. All right. We are so far behind that we have to eat some ketchup. So we're going to have some. Do you like ketchup on your empanadas?
You know, if it's a meat empanada, why not?
Okay.
You know?
All right, let's check out the weather with Mr. Emp himself.
A look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. In northern Oregon and southern Washington, mostly sunny and calm with high temperatures in the upper 60s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, with lows tonight in the low 40s under clear skies. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with mostly sunny skies and daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light northwest wind. Another nice day across central Oregon before changes come tomorrow, but mostly sunny today with highs near 70 in Prineville and mid-60s in Bend and Sun River, mostly sunny and near 70 over in Boise, Idaho. Along the coast, mostly sunny and low 60s in Coos Bay, a chance of showers in upper 50s for Port Orford and Brookings, and patchy fog, then a chance of showers in Crescent City, California with a high near 61. In southern Oregon, mostly sunny with a slight chance of showers for the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-70s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, and near 69 in Klamath Falls with a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Into Northern California, sunny, then a chance of showers in mid-70s in Wairika, near 81 in Redding. Sunny skies for Chico with a high near 82 and Sacramento near 83. In the Bay Area, sunny inland with highs near 77 in Santa Rosa and 78 in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high in the low 70s and early patchy fog in San Jose, otherwise sunny with a high in the upper 70s. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful sunrise this morning, absolutely gorgeous. Look at the clouds coming in. A little bit of a nice sun glow to just northeast side of McLaughlin out there, so looking good.
Well, I can't wait for the movie to come out.
Okay.
Of the rescue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be drama. I can't wait for it. But former A-10 pilot and retired Air Force Colonel Kim Casey Campbell discussed the daring rescue of the U.S. airman in Iran, drawing on her own experience. Let's listen to this.
It's hard to believe it was 23 years ago today. I was flying a close air support mission in downtown Baghdad in the A-10, and my airplane was hit with a surface-to-air missile. Life-changing moment for sure, and it definitely, over the last few days, a lot of memories have come back in watching everything play out. The immediate aftermath was falling back on my training. My airplane immediately was out of control, plunging down towards Baghdad. About the last thing I wanted to do was eject into enemy territory. But thankfully, the A-10 was built to take hits. It's very durable, it's reliable, and we have an emergency backup system that allowed me to recover the airplane out of that situation and then eventually land it safely back in Kuwait. There's no greater mission to be able to do combat search and rescue, to bring everyone home. And I think as a pilot, I mean, that day for me over Baghdad, I knew that if I had to eject, that rescue crew was coming for me. I knew that they would have my back. And I think when we know that, when we understand that promise, that allows us to do our job and do it well. Yeah, I mean, we all go through the training. It's survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. We call it SEER. And it gives us the skills to go out and do something like that. But I think the other side of that is when you find yourself on the ground, it's a whole different environment. And yes, you fall back on your training, but I think you also have to have the will to survive. You have to know in your heart that they are coming for you, to have that grit and determination. It's truly impressive what that pilot, the weapon systems officer, was able to do. And he did it well. He did what he needed to do. We have a saying in the rescue community that is affect your own rescue. That means when you're on the ground, you do everything you can to be a good survivor so that the rescue forces can come and get you.
Oh, this is just amazing stuff.
Isn't that something?
Oh, my God. And I think back to the first message that the downed pilot sent out when he did, God is good.
Yeah.
First thing he sent out.
First thing he said.
Oh, amazing.
Well, I look, I know a little bit about airplanes, but not a lot. But I have to tell you, she was a pilot of a
Warthog. Yeah, A-10.
An A-10.
Yeah, yeah.
That is like the dream aircraft for people to fly in the military.
No kidding. Oh, wow.
I mean, there's a lot of, you got the F-35s, the 15s,
sure.
and all that.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, those are high energy airplanes. But the A-10 is like, it's two engines, and you're strapped in between them.
Yeah, it looked like it, yeah.
This thing can fly in any direction, in any attitude. It can fly this way, it can fly that way, it can fly upside down, it can go straight up and go straight down. This is thrust overweight.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, ma'am. All right, we'll be right back.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house.
we chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon. Once again, our very own Dove TV was recognized for excellence by the National Religious Broadcasters with the prestigious Station of the Year Award for 2026.
And this year's recipient of TV Station of the Year Award is Dove TV.
This makes 9 times the Dove has been honored by our peers with this celebrated national award. We're grateful, and another reason to stay encouraged and informed by watching and supporting the Dove TV.
All right, so here's one. Will high gas prices affect the midterm elections?
Oh, yeah, could be.
Well, I asked Mark Meckler that. Mark heads up the Convention of States. He's really a great guy, and we got this really wonderful relationship. And the guy is really smart. I mean, he's all over the place. Anyway, I asked him the question yesterday when I had him on Focus Today, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I don't think they're all that dangerous right now. If you look at President Trump's net approval rating, it's still pretty good. It's up there as high as Obama was at this point in his second term, certainly as high as many other presidents were in their second term. And Americans have a pretty short memory. As soon as we wrap up the military adventure in the Middle East, what will happen is those prices will come down almost immediately. I think that will be done long before the midterms. The regime has been effectively and virtually completely neutered. If you look at a diagram of their leadership structure, the vast majority of their high-level leaders are now dead. And so we don't even know who's leading the country. You asked that question earlier. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think there is necessarily anybody leading the entire country. It's the first, what I've heard referred to as AI leadership in a country. What they mean by that is there are actually AI videos coming out of some of the top level leaders who we know are dead. And so I think we have effectively done the mission. What I mean by that is they are no longer a threat. Their nuclear program has been destroyed. Their ballistic missile program has been destroyed. Their ability to project force has been destroyed through both Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, virtually anybody in the region that were their terrorist proxies. They're no longer operating in Venezuela, where they were operating very heavily. So I think we've accomplished a lot of the mission. Will the regime survive, at least in a neutered form? It's possible, but I don't think that's the primary goal of the mission. And I do think eventually that regime is going to fall anyway.
All right, there you go. Good stuff. All right.
All right. Well, in the world of illusionists, what some people would call
That's like the morning show, isn't it?
Now you see us, now you don't. Obviously, they try to one-up each other, and the illusions get bigger and bigger. Well, on this day in 1983, illusionist David Copperfield pulled off one of the biggest as he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. In front of a live audience on Liberty Island and millions watching on TV, Copperfield raised a massive curtain around Lady Liberty. Moments later, when it dropped, she was gone. The crowd gasped, but here's the twist. Helicopters circling overhead confirmed it. The statue had seemingly vanished from the skyline. Of course, it was an illusion. Using precise timing, lighting, and a rotating platform, Copperfield shifted the audience's perspective just enough to hide the statue in plain sight, while a spotlight revealed empty space where it once stood. The statue didn't move, but the audience did without even realizing it. It remains one of the most iconic illusions ever performed, proving that sometimes the biggest tricks aren't about making something disappear, but about changing the way we see it.
Wow.
How many fingers do I have? Yeah, basically he had the whole the crowd on a platform, and he rotated it and went behind one of those columns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Wow. All right. Psalm 120, verse 1. This is a great scripture for you today. In my distress, I called to the Lord, and guess what? He answered me.
Amen.
If you talk to him, he'll answer. Mm-hmm. All right. Take that with you today, and let's see.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegateRV.com.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
That they found out that the Ayatollah and all of his leaders were in one building.
This is not a single overnight operation.
The president has the authority to wage war.
We see Iranian women in the street celebrating, and we see liberal women in the United States protesting. It's interesting. What a dichotomy.
Wake up to information. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Because Christ is in our relationships at home, there should be a new quality to that relationship. It doesn't always happen all at once, but it happens along the way. As we submit ourselves to the Lord, as we should become better husbands and better wives and better parents and more obedient children and better workers and better bosses. Why? Because Christ is in the equation. Christ is everything. The title of this series is Christ Above All. He's more important than anything we've talked about today, to understand that it's all about our relationship with Christ. And here's Paul telling us, you want to honor the Christ that is the center of your life. It's going to affect how you live, how you relate at home, how you relate at work, how you function as parents. Christ is a difference maker.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Today, become a farmer with the Dove. Plant a seed, help it grow.
Let's grow something eternal together.
Give today at the Dove.
You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, right here where Jerry Bilden shows up and we just kind of hold on.
And we don't know what's going to happen next, but good morning. Happy Wednesday to you.
And the big news, we are in a ceasefire. Late last night, they said it was within about an hour, or maybe a little more than an hour, of the deadline that the president had drawn the line in the sand that he was going to do blankety blank, 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 blank.
Yeah.
And then they settled on a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. The negotiations went on, and there's a 10-point deal here on the table, but the only one that the president has agreed to was the opening of the strait. No deal unless you open up the strait.
Right. Right.
So the strait is opening up. From what I understand, looking at things this morning, ships are moving.
Yeah.
I don't know if any have gone through yet. There's a bunch on the outside waiting to come in.
I hear you.
There's a bunch on the inside ready to go out.
Yep.
And so we'll see how that all flows. We'll have more about it. But for right now, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
Yes.
That this thing can simmer down and cool off a little bit.
So are they changing the prices on the pump yet?
We'll see here in a minute.
Okay.
So when we get that report coming up in a minute, I have an interesting thought on that.
right.
So I'll hold it till then. Anyway, good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. We have that for you. Weather-wise, nice day, but a change is a-coming.
Oh, boy. And, it's okay.
It's all right. We
like
need
the
it.
change. Yes, we do. You know that old April showers thing?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's also National All Is Ours Day. This is kind of an interesting day, taking us along 3 views of appreciation. And it's a day of appreciation, so we appreciate on the beauty of nature and all the wonderful things around us in this life. And, of course,
like those flowers behind us.
Yeah, and we're in a beautiful slice of God's creation here, so we can certainly appreciate it. Second way to celebrate the day is by appreciating everything we have. And, we have a lot, especially in our country. And a third way to view the day is by sharing what we have. So it says National All Is Ours Day, but is it really? I think it's all is His day, and we should be good stewards of it with great appreciation in our hearts. There you go.
Okay.
I kind of changed the day, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Tough. Anyway, moving on. It's National Empanada Day, recognizing a delicious pastry that comes in several different forms. The name empanada comes from the Galician, Portuguese, and Spanish verb empanadar, meaning to wrap or coat in bread.
Okay.
And empanadas are made by folding the dough or bread around a seasoned, delicious pastry filled with, well, take your choice, meat, cheese, vegetables, fruit fillings. However, there are other ingredients you can make as well. I'll just take beef right now. A beef empanada would be good. I eat hamburger.
Aren't they kind of like a hard ravioli?
Oh, it kind of looks like a hard ravioli, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, or a Hot Pocket.
Yeah, there you go.
Hot Pockets. I'll take it.
Closed taco.
It's interesting that you say that because, there are very different types of tacos from different cultures, but they're all kind of basically tacos, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, well, whatever it is, I'll eat it. Thank you. It's also National Zoo Lovers Day, encouraging us to explore our local zoos. And each year, millions of people go to the zoos and visit animals. They're also known as zoological parks, and this is important because many of them serve as breeding centers. The facilities are relied upon when species are endangered or at risk of becoming endangered, and they also provide education to the public about a broad variety of animals and their habitats. The oldest zoo is the Vienna Zoo from 1765. The oldest zoo in the United States is the Central Park Zoo. And that's not the portion of the park that just people are walking around. There is a zoo in there.
Yeah, there's a zoo in there.
I've seen other activities that were zoo-like, but anyway, there are 350 zoos in the United States, and over 175 million people visit the zoo each year.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, well, that's kind of like the building house, isn't it?
It is. Yep. Sometimes running wild and all sugared up.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing interesting about animals. I love animals. We all do. I think you have to respect them.
Yeah.
We have a tendency to think you can domesticate them to a point.
Oh, yeah,
but remember, at the end of the day, they are who they are.
Well,
God created them to be what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see these people get too friendly with these animals, and all of a sudden something happens.
Well, that's like the other day. It was National Ferret Day, and I talked about people bringing them into their house, and I thought, well, they're the cousin of the wolverine.
Yeah, well.
Sometimes, I don't know. I just don't trust that. But anyway, that's a very good point. I agree.
Here's the zookeeper of Shady Cove, right here.
A look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. In northern Oregon and southern Washington, mostly sunny and calm with high temperatures in the upper 60s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, with lows tonight in the low 40s under clear skies. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with mostly sunny skies and daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light northwest wind. Another nice day across central Oregon before changes come tomorrow, but mostly sunny today with highs near 70 in Prineville and mid-60s in Bend and Sun River. Mostly sunny and near 70 over in Boise, Idaho. Along the coast, mostly sunny and low 60s in Coos Bay, a chance of showers in upper 50s for Port Orford and Brookings, and patchy fog, then a chance of showers in Crescent City, California with a high near 61. In southern Oregon, mostly sunny with a slight chance of showers for the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-70s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, and near 69 in Klamath Falls with a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Into northern California, sunny, then a chance of showers in mid-70s in Wairika and near 81 in Redding. Sunny skies for Chico with a high near 82 and Sacramento near 83. In the Bay Area, sunny inland with highs near 77 in Santa Rosa and 78 in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high in the low 70s and early patchy fog in San Jose, otherwise sunny with a high in the upper 70s. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of the southern part of our valley this morning. You can see the incoming clouds and not quite a full sun ray on the mountains yet, but pretty nice out there, looking good.
Well, some encouragement here with Pastor Jack Graham as he encourages us to call on the name of Jesus.
It is as though Jesus was saying, you shouldn't be in tears. We are here in triumph. I told you I would come back, and I have conquered death and triumphed over your tears. So because Jesus is alive, our tears are turned to no more ultimately, because he is preparing a place for us where there are no more tears, no more pain, and no more suffering. So he comes to us like he came to Mary of Magdalene, who was formerly living in sin and living in shame, and now she's in sorrow. And he says, Mary, don't cry. Stop your crying. I am alive. And says to her, Mary. And as soon as she heard her name, she knew. She knew this is Jesus. He called her name. And did you know he calls your name? You say, my name? Absolutely. And if you will listen very carefully, the still small voice of the Spirit and the thundering word of God will get through to you and to your heart. He's calling your name. You think that all hope is gone, like Mary. But the moment he calls your name and you listen, everything changes. When you respond as Mary responded, Rabboni, Master, she knew, she believed. Yes, hope was gone, but Jesus was not gone, and therefore hope lives. And when you whisper his name and call his name, please know that he hears you just as you hear him.
Think about that. Good stuff all the way around. All right, good morning to you. Let's check out some of the big stories. And of course, the big one has happened within the last 24 hours or so, and that is they have reached a 2-week ceasefire agreement with Iran. The president posted that on Truth Social immediately after it took place. And basically, he is saying to the world, we have a 2-week ceasefire. There's a 10-point plan on the table, but he wouldn't even consider any of that until the Strait of Hormuz was reopened, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the ceasefire, it is a complete and immediate and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. So apparently the ships are lining up inside and outside, ready to traffic through there. I don't know what they do at the minefield to bring about safety there, but apparently the oil ships are going to start moving. It's a 2-week ceasefire. We'll see. It's interesting to note, and you'll hear from Chris Mitchell here in a little bit, that Iran is claiming victory.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So our good friend Kenneth Abramowitz basically said, who's a pro in all this, he said, look, you're dealing with the death cult, and they don't surrender.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so his 2 weeks of reload, what is this,
Yeah.
But in the meantime, the president did get what he's looking for, and that's to open up the shipping lane, and we'll see how this goes. And will this do anything? And will he even get a thanks from the European nations.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you know, we're thinking of NATO and our relationship with NATO and the criticisms that the president has had, and he will be meeting with the head of NATO.
Yeah.
What will that meeting turn out like? Huh? I wonder, are we going to stay in NATO?
Well, the president, we found out, speaks another language.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily represent a country.
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
it does represent a culture.
Yeah, it does.
But not another country.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. In the meantime, as you know, the president was pretty upset because there was a journalist that leaked the information to the press that the second airman was missing, and that kind of tipped off the Iranians to go looking for him.
Right.
And he said, we're going to capture this person, and this person's going to jail, and this has to do with national security. It doesn't have to do with protecting sources. Well, apparently it scared the person who did it. And an Israeli journalist has now come out and admitted to being the first to drop the bombshell details on the second missing U.S. airman, and he gave the information to the New York Post. So I don't know where this goes from here. Is Post complicit?
Yeah, that's a great
for not
question.
checking the sources?
Boy, that's a great question.
Is the journalist protected, you know, for his sources? This is a big deal, but apparently it scared the guy, and he came forward, which is interesting to me because this is a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
If you run and you get caught, that's pretty bad.
And I think we're all a little surprised that it would be an Israeli journalist. I mean, Israel is grateful that we're involved in this with them. We don't know his political background because we know that, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu has his own opposition at home.
Oh, big time.
So who knows? I don't know.
Okay, then back on this side of the globe, over there in the Middle East, over here, you got North Korea, and apparently North Korea and South Korea were trying, well, at least South Korea was trying to warm up to some kind of a compatible relationship with North Korea. And North Korea basically said, released a crude insult to that attempt by launching a bunch of missiles yesterday and just pointed them into the sea. Well, I guess if you've got money to burn, that's what you do.
Well, they don't have money to burn. They can't even feed their own citizens.
Well, see?
Yeah.
So they're firing all these missiles into the sea, which was basically sending a message back to South Korea. Have a nice day.
Yeah, yeah.
This is really, oh gosh, this is another ugly head out there, and I don't know what you do with this, but apparently whatever attempts they were trying to accomplish of bringing these two nations together and maybe talk to each one. North Korea thumbed their nose at it and started firing off missiles that just kind of flex their military muscle and tried to intimidate South Korea.
Yeah.
I don't know where this
goes. It's too bad, too, because what a disparity between the way these two countries, the populations live. Those in the South, they've experienced all kinds of economic booms, manufacturing advantages, and in the North, you know, this hermit kingdom of secrecy, the lifestyle is completely 180 in the opposite direction. And, you know, and these are families that are split up, too. This is like the old East-West Germany thing, where you have families on each side, and you know some kind of information has got to be exchanged back and forth. The people in the North, a lot of them know what they're missing. And you think of Iran, too. You think of the situation. What does it take for people to hit the streets and to rise up against this kind of dictatorship?
Do you remember when President Trump in his first term went to...
Yes.
And crossed over
and
from
he
south
walked over.
Crossed the line from south to north.
Yes.
And met with Kim Jong-un.
Yes.
Gosh.
Yeah, that, boy.
In the meantime, Seoul, Korea has one of the largest churches in the world. Over 1 million people attend that church.
Wow.
And they have Prayer Mountain. They got all this stuff going on. And so I don't know. This is another rogue nation out there that you just don't know if his finger's on the trigger or not.
And you just put your finger on a stark difference between the two nations, too, in the religious freedom and how big the Christian church is in the South. Interesting.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a empanada break.
Okay.
You know. And I also have I'm going to run you for governor. I just created a new state. We'll be right back.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Do events in the world leave you confused and scratching your head? A world where up is down and down is up.
I'm Perry Atkinson. Mornings on the Dove knows how you feel. We're here to offer God's hope and encouragement and to help you to sort it all out.
And I'm Jerry Bilden. Mornings on the Dove alerts you to issues and events the mainstream media would rather you not know or know the truth.
A lot in the news today, some movement around in the Middle East, common sense discussions on today's headlines, and rational perspective on what's really going on.
That will leave you better informed and encouraged by the gospel.
In this upside-down world, there's one place you can trust to get it straight.
Check into Mornings on the Dove each day to find out what's really going on and to be encouraged.
Mornings on the Dove, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. on the Dove TV and radio. Streaming online at thedove.us, Roku, and Apple TV. The Dove, encouraging and informative.
Jerry, did you know that we're farmers?
Farmers? I knew there was a reason I like overalls.
At the Dove, we plant seeds of hope, truth, and the gospel every day.
And when those seeds land in the right hearts, lives change.
But every harvest needs more hands.
That's where you come in.
Today, become a farmer with the Dove. Plant a seed, help it grow.
Your gift reaches someone who needs hope.
Don't wait, join us in this harvest.
Let's grow something eternal together.
Give today at the Dove.
Okay, welcome back. 17 minutes past the hour. Kind of an interesting story. Our own Congressman Cliff Bentz, he represents Congressional District 2 in the state of Oregon, which has a lot to do with Southern Oregon and then out on the east side. He was instrumental in securing $80 million to the Klamath Falls base there at Kingsley Field for the cross-training for pilots from F-15Cs to the fantastic F-35A Lightning II. There's a picture of it. This plane is really something.
Whoa. Whoa.
So $80 million in turning the Kingsley Field into a training center, an academic training center for the Formula Training Unit at the base there, and to help them with the transition from 15s to 35s. So we could see some 35s parked out here on the tarmac.
That would be wonderful. I want to see the touch and goes. I want to hear these things come through.
Yeah, it's interesting about these planes. They say this is the most sophisticated plane out there. For what it's designed to do. You also have the A-10, which is another interesting thing. But this thing's pretty sleek.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is like the ultimate.
Yeah, it is. It's quite the machine. So I don't know. We see one in the pattern here. You may hear it and never see it.
Well, I was going to say too, because when they bring the fighters in here for touch and go, you always hear them taking off, and it's like a sound that no other jet here makes. Yeah, it sounds like the roof's coming off sometimes. I can't imagine what this thing's going to be.
Well, I look forward to seeing it on the tarmac out there. All right, and just a little bit of a FYI, folks. I realize that you too are battling high fuel prices. We all are. It's impacting our lives in a big way. But think about this. Can you imagine what's happening to the farmers out there all over the country, and especially here in Oregon, paying these $6 and $7 a gallon for diesel fuel? Then on top of that, their fertilizer prices have skyrocketed through the roof, but about at the same rate as their fuel had. So you take high fertilizer and you mix it with high fuel, and they're subject to growing something that you and I consume every day that's subject to market prices.
Right. Yeah.
So look, they're in a catch-22 situation. If you see a farmer, hug them. Buy them a tank of gas. Do something, help them out. I mean, if I was king for a day, I would create a special rock bottom prices for farmers to get fuel and fertilizer, because at the end of the day, last time I looked, most of us enjoy eating three times a day. You know, and this food doesn't come from Food for Less.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So anyway, pray for our farmers. It's tough out there, and hopefully we can get this thing behind us and we get the fuel prices down. So those are some of the top stories. Let's take a look at Wall Street. Let's find out what's going on out there this morning. Thank you, Preston at Smart Lawn, for helping us with this today. In the meantime, the Dow is shot. Look at this.
Look at this,
1,322 points up. The Nas is up 630, and the S&P up 155.75. So everybody likes the ceasefire. Huge, huge jumps this morning. All right, gold is up to 48.04. Silver is at 76.56. And yes, crude went from $110 down to 91.98. Heading in the right direction. We got to get it back into the 50s, down into the 40s.
Well, I'll be happy if we even see 60, but yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
What?
All right, I can't. I'm sure I'm the dumbest guy on the earth when it comes to this stuff, because I even talked to the guy that supplies the fuel here at the airport. Okay, you see these trucks coming and going.
Oh, yeah.
So I talked to him. Yeah. How come that, all right, crude oil now went down to $91.
Okay.
Okay. And we still have $4, $5, $6 gases at the pump.
Yeah.
And supposedly we don't need the oil coming out of the Straits, but our prices are still high.
Yeah.
And our tanks are full of the fuel that we have that we didn't get from the Strait.
Okay.
Why are our prices high?
That's a great question. Because they can?
I can't.
Yeah.
I get this chemistry formula.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like, okay, let me ask you this.
Now, one other point, excuse me.
Okay.
I almost forgot my main point.
Okay.
We haven't had one ship leave the Strait come to the United States yet, and yet they can drop the prices.
Right. Right.
What's going on here?
Same thing as tickets to go see Bruce Springsteen. He's getting over $1,000 a pop for tickets to go to Bruce Springsteen. Why? Because he can. People are knuckleheads and they'll pay it, and we will too. So I don't know. It's like, what are the forces that affect prices in a market economy?
Every once in a while, I'll go watch the commodity market because I'm just really bored with something. So if you really want to fall asleep, go over there.
Thanks. Okay.
So you watch the price of beans or, soybeans or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, we haven't had a ship come and go out of the Straits to the United States, and yet our prices are going up when we have one of the largest reserves, and we haven't received anything from them. And so now that the thing is open our prices go down, and we haven't received a drop from them. Will you explain this to me? What am I missing here?
Boy, you got it right. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, man.
So I've decided I'm going to create a new state and make you governor.
Thanks for nothing.
We talked about the state of Jefferson.
Yeah.
I'm going to narrow it down. The state's going to go from Reading to Roseburg.
Reading to that works. Okay.
Everybody wants to call it the state of Jefferson.
Yeah, I know.
I think we ought to call it the state of River.
The state, okay, either way. But
look at all the rivers in that area, and we would control some of the largest natural resources in the whole United States.
Some of our friends out in eastern Oregon and Idaho are calling, saying, wait a minute, we want in too.
Well, look, you can go up there.
Okay.
No, we need to cut it off right there and call it River.
Okay.
And I'm going to run you as governor.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm going to be in the back room telling you what to do. All right,
okay, moving on. Well,
please.
VHS is still shut down.
Yeah.
And Newsmax is on Newsmax's Bianca across the nation. A Representative Dan Muser discussed the impact of it, and let's listen to what he had to say.
Bianca, once again, the Democrats are acting in a manner that is not, frankly, in the interest of the United States. What they want to do is they want to stop deportations and they want to defund the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and as well, that most recent bill of theirs cut off all funding for Customs and Border Patrol as well, basically our homeland security. So we have a package that can go one of three ways. How I'd like to see it go is that we put all the funding into reconciliation because the Democrats have showed no willingness to negotiate whatsoever. I mean, literally, we started here, they started here, we came all the way over here, and they're moving the goalposts even further. Yeah. So we should probably just do this through reconciliation, which we can take care of as Republicans, or we do both of these bills. One of them is ridiculous because it zeroes out the CBP, but we do them not just in sequence, simultaneously, and we get this matter behind us, particularly during wartime, particularly during a case where our homeland is, very, very emergency and serious situation. Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, what happened to principle?
Oh, gosh, out the window. Yeah.
Principle's been replaced with politics.
Yes.
The obvious right thing to do is in front of you.
Right.
But you don't do it.
And the worst part is not only replaced by politics, but team politics. So whatever your team is for, we're against, no matter how right it is.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It's try living your Christian life like that.
Yeah.
Romans 7 deals with that. Paul did. I end up doing the things I don't want to do, and the things I don't want to do, I end up doing. So it's kind of a tug of war of the flesh and the spirit.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to go empanada hunting. We'll be right back.
Where I belong, you are where I belong. I lift up my voice just to sing a new song. I lift up my hands just to show you I know where I belong. You are where I belong.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com. Your yard is where life happens, but it can be muddy and hard to maintain. Enjoy a maintenance-free artificial turf lawn all year round with Smart Lawn LLC. No mowing, no fertilizing, no watering. Our synthetic grass is beautiful and resilient. It's certified to be lead-free and there's no need for pesticides. Safe for your children and pets. Smart Lawn LLC has all your artificial turf and putting green areas covered beautifully. 541-941-3538.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
Good morning to you. A lot in the news.
Courage comes when you've been with Jesus.
A movie monster made his larger-than-life debut, introducing audiences to a giant ape brought to life through groundbreaking stop-motion animation.
In fact, I'm in the stage of life where I'm letting some things go.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, well, I won't tell you what.
Add some fun to your mornings. Watch Mornings on the Dove weekdays.
Today, become a farmer with the Dove. Plant a seed, help it grow.
Your gift reaches someone who needs hope.
Don't wait, join us in this harvest.
Let's grow something eternal together.
Give today at the Dove.
Okay, welcome back. 29 past the hour, and of course, the big story today is that the United States and Iran is in a 2-week ceasefire. The Strait of Hormuz is supposed to be opening up. I understand ships are moving. I haven't seen anything go through there yet, but things are moving.
Yeah.
And but there's a 10-point plan on the table, and apparently the president said, I won't even think about those 10 points until you open up the strait, and that apparently the art of the deal, that's working.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, can you imagine living in Israel? So Chris Mitchell, this is a little after 4 o'clock in the morning. He's in his house, hunkered down, trying to put together what he knows so far from Pakistan to Washington, D.C., and everything in between. So let's check in with Chris.
I'm Chris Mitchell with CBN News, and it is almost 4 o'clock in the morning here, and just getting some reaction to what has been announced within the last hour and a half, 2 hours, is a ceasefire between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, negotiated by apparently Pakistan and a few other countries in Islamabad. So just to let you know, we was on the bomb shelter here in Jerusalem just about 2 hours ago as well. There are other attacks here against Israel. So the ceasefire seemingly hasn't been observed entirely by Iran. We understand that maybe Israel is attacking too some sites in Iran right now. But thanks for joining us, and this is some reaction to what has been happened. And according to the AP, the U.S. has halted all offensive operations against Iran, and yet there have been missiles alerts in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, despite this ceasefire. And the announcement on Truth Social by President Trump went like this. Uh, this will be a double ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we already met and exceeded all the military objectives and are far along with the definitive agreement concerning the long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it's a working basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the U.S. and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. And on behalf of the United States of America and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it's an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. And that 10 points plan would be from Iran, a guarantee of non-aggression against Iran, maintenance of Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz, acceptance of Iran's uranium enrichment, lifting of all primary and secondary sanctions, ending all UN Security Council and IAEA Board of Governors resolutions against Iran. It seems like that may be unlikely. Reparations to Iran for damages, withdrawal of all U.S. combat forces from the region, end to the war on all fronts, including against proxies in Lebanon, release of blocked Iranian assets abroad, and commitments to be formalized in a binding UN Security Council resolution, turning the agreements into international legal operation obligations. Apparently, Senator Lindsey Graham has already reacted to that. He says, like everyone, I hope we can end the regime of terror of the Iranian regime through diplomacy. He went on to send, he wanted to reaffirm his point of view that every ounce of the approximately 900 pounds of an highly enriched uranium has to be controlled by the U.S. and removed by Iran to prevent. And he did add that we must remember the Strait of Hormuz was attacked by Iran from the start of the war, destroying freedom of navigation. And going forward, it's imperative Iran is not rewarded for this hostile act against the world. So a lot of things happening. The official reaction of the Iranian government was done by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He said, on behalf of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I express gratitude and appreciation for my dear brothers, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Sharif. And he goes on to say, in response, they are considering the request based on the 15-point proposal, as well as the announcement by the president about acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal. I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, if attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations. And so for a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination of Iran's armed forces with due consideration for technical limitations. Now, some other reaction from Iran goes on to say the head of the Iran's National Security Council just posted, we told you from the start there's no option but to surrender to the great Iran. And this statement from the Supreme National Council said the enemy has suffered an undeniable defeat. Iran has achieved a great victory and forced the criminal America to accept its 10-point plan, in which the U.S. has fundamentally committed to non-aggression, continued Iranian control of the Strait of Hormuz, acceptance of uranium enrichment. Certainly all these things will be discussed in the next 2 weeks. And also from the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, he welcomes the great leadership of both countries. And so that's from the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So God bless from Jerusalem. Bye-bye.
Pretty amazing.
Yes.
There's a thought out this morning. Think about this. The ceasefire is obviously a ceasefire. Everybody goes back, okay? If you watch the news conference this morning with the Joint Chief and the Secretary of War, what the United States has done to Iran militarily is unlike anything we've ever seen before. 14,000, if you can get that number in your head, 14,000 military sites have been taken out. Okay, of one form or another. All of the nuclear production is taken out except for the enriched uranium.
Okay.
And that's yet to be what they're going to do with it. I don't know yet. And so the ceasefire obviously stops all that. Okay. And in the meantime, the president's main purpose of the ceasefire was to get the straits open, and that's being accomplished. The 10 points are going to be discussed. Okay, so that's all the stuff that's going on in diplomacy. What's going on militarily? This article that I just read a little while ago says this: during a ceasefire, given the fact that the United States intelligence and Israel's intelligence combined is the best in the world. You know, with satellite and technology, we are watching Iran, and during a ceasefire, they're going to start moving.
Okay.
You don't move when war's going on, you hunker down and defend.
Sure, yeah.
Now there's no firing going on.
Okay.
They're going to be looking where everything is moving, and they're going to know what's left to take out.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I don't think for a moment this ceasefire lasts.
Oh, really? Oh.
Okay. Especially when they're already declaring victory to their people.
Well, they are, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes.
In the meantime, none of our people are leaving the theater. None of our military is going anywhere. Right. It's all on immediate high alert standby. But you know that the satellite surveillance, if Iran now begins to move in any way, shape, or form, they're going to see it. And now they're going to know what's left.
Yeah. Yes.
And where it is.
I think you're
kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Here's a guy that's interesting.
Oh, no, where?
He's a zookeeper out in Shady Cove.
A look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. In northern Oregon and southern Washington, mostly sunny and calm with high temperatures in the upper 60s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, with lows tonight in the low 40s under clear skies. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with mostly sunny skies and daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light northwest wind. Another nice day across central Oregon before changes come tomorrow, but mostly sunny today with highs near 70 in Prineville and mid-60s in Bend and Sun River, mostly sunny and near 70 over in Boise, Idaho. Along the coast, mostly sunny and low 60s in Coos Bay, a chance of showers in upper 50s for Port Orford and Brookings, and patchy fog, then a chance of showers in Crescent City, California with a high near 61. In southern Oregon, mostly sunny with a slight chance of showers for the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-70s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland, and near 69 in Klamath Falls with a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Into northern California, sunny, then a chance of showers in mid-70s in Wairika, near 81 in Redding. Sunny skies for Chico with a high near 82, and Sacramento near 83. In the Bay Area, sunny inland with highs near 77 in Santa Rosa and 78 in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high in the low 70s, and early patchy fog in San Jose, otherwise sunny with a high in the upper 70s. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot from the top of Mount Ashland this morning looking west. Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
A little bit of snow at the higher elevations, not much, but you can also see the incoming clouds.
Yep.
Gorgeous shot.
Oh,
wow.
Beautiful. Good Wednesday morning to you. So, a guy with a top hat, a cape, and a wand. Is he a magician or an illusionist?
He's confused. He's counseling.
He's looking for a new wardrobe.
He needs Doug Gould.
Well,
he needs therapy.
on this day in 1983, illusionist David Copperfield pulled off one of the most jaw-dropping feats in magic history. He made the Statue of Liberty disappear. In front of a live audience on Liberty Island and millions watching on TV, Copperfield raised a massive curtain around Lady Liberty. Moments later, when it dropped, she was gone. The crowd gasped, but here's the twist. Helicopters circling overhead confirmed it. The statue had seemingly vanished from the skyline. Of course, it was an illusion. Using precise timing, lighting, and a rotating platform, Copperfield shifted the audience's perspective just enough to hide the statue in plain sight, while a spotlight revealed space where it once stood. The statue didn't move, but the audience did without even realizing it. It remains one of the most iconic illusions ever performed, proving that sometimes the biggest tricks aren't about making something disappear, but about changing the way we see it. That's what all magic's about, is just, changing the view. And in fact, I was reading about how he did it. He put the audience in front of the Statue of Liberty on a big platform, and the platform moved. And they had you see the big columns of lights and speakers and stuff on the side. Well, when they put the curtain up, he started shifting. They said it was on slow motors, and the way they kept the crowd from feeling it moving was he had huge music going with subwoofers and stuff, and it was booming, so everything was kind of rumbling. And as the thing moved, they didn't know that it moved. So when the curtain went down, then the statue was blocked. Unfortunately, all the people that were in New Jersey, they could still see it. It was an illusion, but
he's good at that.
Yeah, he was good at that.
Kind of like our morning show.
Now you see it, now you don't.
Now you don't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, this is no illusion.
What?
I can tell you, as a pilot, everything. I don't know all the military aircraft, I know some of them, but the A-10 is like the big toy in the toy box.
The Warthog.
The Warthog.
Yeah.
He ain't quite a guy. But anyway, this is an amazing story. Air Force Colonel K.C. Campbell. Kim, her.
Oh, yeah.
She took a hit over Iraq, and here's her story.
It's hard to believe it was 23 years ago today. I was flying a close air support mission in downtown Baghdad in the A-10, and my airplane was hit with a surface-to-air missile. Life-changing moment for sure, and it definitely, over the last few days, a lot of memories have come back in watching everything play out. The immediate aftermath was falling back on my training. My airplane immediately was out of control, plunging down towards Baghdad. About the last thing I wanted to do was eject into enemy territory. But thankfully, the A-10 was built to take hits. It's very durable, it's reliable, and we have an emergency backup system that allowed me to recover the airplane out of that situation and then eventually land it safely back in Kuwait. There's no greater mission to be able to do combat search and rescue, to bring everyone home. And I think as a pilot, that day for me over Baghdad, I knew that if I had to eject, that rescue crew was coming for me. I knew that they would have my back. And I think when we know that, when we understand that promise, that allows us to do our job and do it well. Yeah, we all go through the training. It's survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. We call it SEER. And it gives us the skills to go out and do something like that. But I think the other side of that is when you find yourself on the ground, it's a whole different environment. And yes, you fall back on your training, but I think you also have to have the will to survive. You have to know in your heart that they are coming for you, to have that grit and determination. It's truly impressive what that pilot, the weapons systems officer, was able to do. And he did it well. He did what he needed to do. We have a saying in the rescue community that is affect your own rescue. That means when you're on the ground, you do everything you can to be a good survivor so that the rescue forces can come and get you.
Wow.
Isn't that a story?
Oh, man.
And you look back on this last pilot that was rescued. Here he is, severely injured, and yet he climbed 7,000 feet up the mountain and hid in a cave. And so, anyway, SEER. So, maybe we ought to do some SEER training around here. But you know what? I don't think anybody come and rescue us.
Yeah, that's an important part of it.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. You and I could be trained, but nobody come and get us. Let those old dogs die up there.
That's called wandering.
Yeah, let the old dogs go. We'll get some new ones. We'll be right back.
We're in a very holy time of the year. We think in terms of a deliverance.
This is where she washes the dishes.
If you're ever going to allow your Christian faith to rise and to do something for God's chosen people, now is the time. This is the home of Galena. She's 96 years old.
This is what she had to eat for today.
She has one pot with water and wheat.
My father was killed by the Nazis, and I was an orphan. I didn't know about God. But now, in the cold, hungry nights, I pray for food to the God I've never known. There are good people that love you.
You see the tears. Scripture says joy can come in the morning, and you can be the reason.
This Passover, if you will bless these hurting children of Israel, you will receive God's blessing in return. Your urgent gift today of $25 will help rush a survival food box filled with life-saving essentials and matzah for the Passover holy day. Call, scan, or go online now.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I don't know how much longer she could have waited for us to come.
I can't even grow my food anymore. What will happen to me? I'm doomed to starve.
Tens of thousands of elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union are living in extreme poverty, hungry, and forgotten. But through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we can bring them hope.
Eggs. It's my favorite food. May you be blessed.
You say to them, we see you and we're here to help.
Please don't delay. Call, scan, or go online now.
Okay, welcome back, and happy Wednesday to you. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Nice day today, but a change is coming to our own backyard. Well, yesterday I had Mark Meckler on. Mark is quite a guy. He heads up the Convention of States. Smart guy. He's now being used all over the place. He's so smart. But I did ask him the question, do you realize that our national debt's not in the news anymore? It should be. But our national debt is $39 trillion. We're reaching the point where the interest on the debt is more than anything else that we provide and pay for in the United States.
That's stunning.
So I asked him, when do we hit the wall, or what can be done about it? And here's what he had to say.
Man, Perry, I don't think anybody actually knows that. I think we're getting close to some very dangerous signals in the market right now. One is when interest payments on debt exceed the military budget of any nation, that nation has never survived. We're getting very close to that. That'll happen for us in the next couple of years at the current trajectory. And so that's a pretty dangerous spot for us to be, especially with all the conflicts taking place in the world right now. Second is what they call the mark-to-maker market for U.S. bonds. And what that means is every time we put U.S. bonds up for sale, which is how we raise debt money, a certain amount of people bid on those bonds. You need more people bidding than bonds that are for sale, or the bonds go unsold. And those numbers have gotten dangerously low recently, those ratios. In other words, the people who are willing to buy the bonds for the interest rates that are being offered are very low. That means the interest rates have to be raised. And when you get to a one-to-one, what they call market maker to the mark price, that's generally signals a collapse. And that's an economic collapse if we can no longer borrow on the open market. So I think we're getting close. Hard to say exactly when that date is.
All right, so what do you do? Okay. I think because of politics, it's impossible for us to do what us business people do all the time. All right? You freeze hiring and you cut budget. That's the only thing the United States government can do. Freeze hiring and cut the budget, okay? But you got a group in Congress that will oppose that until the cows come home.
Right. On one side of the mouth, they'll say we need to do it.
Yeah.
But they'll, on the other side, they'll block you from doing it.
I remember back when Nixon was president and we ran into some tough times, and he put a freeze on hiring and he froze the budget, and that's how we got out of it.
Okay.
But we're at $39 trillion. If you freeze hiring and you cut budgets, let's say you just say to every agency across the board, you're going to cut your budget 5%. You could solve this problem overnight. You're talking billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, okay? So, but we don't have the fortitude to do it. I read a sign the other day, so roll with me. This is a joke.
Okay. Thanks for the warning.
I want to give you, this is a joke. This
yeah.
isn't a statement from me.
Got it. Okay. All right.
We pay Congress millions of dollars to do nothing. we pay the president nothing to do everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was the sign. You realize President Trump does not take his salary?
I do realize that. Yes. Yes.
So we pay millions to Congress to do nothing and get us in $39 trillion worth of debt. And we're not paying the president to do anything, and he's doing everything.
Right. Interesting.
All you Trump haters, that was a joke.
But it's true.
No, it's a joke.
But it's true.
Well, it's a joke.
Okay.
Okay.
Who you got coming up?
I have Dr. Alex McFarland with us, Bruce Walford with us. So we got some good conversation coming your way.
Hey, are you a bird watcher?
You know, in a weird way, yes.
Okay. Well, and this is big time.
I like these little finches.
I like little finches too.
Okay.
Yes.
I like robins.
Okay. Oh yeah, and the robins can come through in like flocks. They'll be on my yard in the hundreds.
Okay. I like hummingbirds.
Oh yeah.
But the most, I think, now we have the bald eagles, our national bird, but I think one of the most beautiful things to watch, really seriously in my book, is to watch a mallard duck come in for a landing or a Canadian goose come in for a landing.
Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah.
When you
as
watch
a
those
pilot,
you watch those two birds come in for a landing on water, there's nothing prettier than those two.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it is a good time to watch birds. The springtime migration is on. They're on the move, and we're seeing all kinds of great activities out there.
Ask me about woodpeckers.
Put that gun down.
Okay. That's an attitude adjustment.
Well, with this in mind, in the heart of New York City, a tiny bird is making a very large impact. At Bryant Park on 42nd Street, crowds aren't gathering for a concert or a show, but for a rare visiting bird, the American woodcock. Known for its quirky bobbing dance, the small, round bird has become an unexpected feel-good sensation. After work, people are pulling up chairs, bringing binoculars, and waiting for a glimpse. Some snap photos, others try to mimic its moves, and many just stop and smile, something that doesn't always happen in the fast pace of New York City. But it's more than just a sighting. Strangers are bonding, even forming friendships, all over this tiny performer. The woodcock's visit is part of its spring migration, using green spaces like Bryant Park as a rare pit stop to rest and refuel before continuing north. For now, though, this little traveler is giving the city something special, a reason to slow down. And in a place that never stops moving, that might be the most magical moment of all. And Bryant Park, right there on 42nd Street between 5th and 6th Avenue, is just one of the most bustling places you can be. And they're all just stopping to watch this little bird. It's a wonderful thing.
How come somebody hasn't invented the dance called the woodcock?
The woodcock, yeah. In fact, they were trying to do it out there, too, doing that thing.
Isn't there a song or something to get along with that? You know?
Yeah, and I wonder now if it's got its own social media page, maybe.
And it's a migrate, so how long will it be there?
I don't know, and we'll see. It's just carrying on. I expect any day it's probably somebody's going to come out there and say, where's our little woody woodcock?
And they're gone.
And they're gone, and then they take off.
Okay, so have you ever experienced the flight of the swallows?
You know what? We see swallows, that come around our neck of the woods, and but the swallows of Capistrano, no, I have not experienced that.
I did it one time, and I wasn't even looking for it.
Really?
I was the pilot for a company that...
You suck them into your engine?
No.
Okay. Well, sorry.
No, but they had the Return of the Swallows celebration there in San Juan Capistrano.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where the Nixon White House was.
Oh, yeah.
He had a place right out on the peninsula. But it's a big deal, and it does happen.
I know.
And I flew my boss down there. We were paving the freeway down through there, so we landed down there.
Yeah.
And we were in San Juan Capistrano the day after they arrived, and they were everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
but
they do come. They just kind of like show up.
They seem so light. They just kind of float through the air.
Yeah.
They're an amazing bird.
Some people call them mud daubers.
Because they make their nests out of the mud, and they do it under bridges.
Everywhere.
And barns.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And they have their babies, and then they fly out.
Yes. Yeah. Where I grew up, they're called barn swallows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's a deal. And then the other thing is the migration of a lot of birds. The migration of hummingbirds is a big deal.
Oh, yes.
They go thousands of miles.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, much more than people realize. Yeah.
All right, so much for that little zoo lesson.
Yeah,
I told you he was a zookeeper.
And we missed one real important one, a shade of blue that you'll never see on anything else. It's called a lazuli bunting.
Oh, that's right.
I'm
You
waiting
like
for my first sighting this year. Sorry, I'm trying to curb my excitement.
He's a zookeeper. Yeah, you need one of those meat sandwiches.
Yeah, Hot Pocket.
No,
Empanada.
Empanada.
Yeah, all right.
All right, good morning to you. Psalm 120, verse 1. This is a great verse for you today. In my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. Now, before you get counseling, you may want to talk to God.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
He's giving them a word of encouragement. He wants to give them a word of help. He says, come to me, all ye who are heavy laden and you're borne down and you feel the weight of life itself. And he says, I will give you rest. Here's Jesus, the living Son of God, the sovereign God of this universe, now seated at the Father's right hand. And he says, all power has been given to me in heaven and earth. So we know that whatever burden you and I carry, he is able to deal with it. Because the Bible's asked a couple of times, is there anything too hard for God? How can anything be too hard for God, who is sovereignly in control of every single solitary thing, who is omniscient, knowing all things, omnipresent, all things are in his presence, and he has the power to handle every circumstance of life. And what is he saying to us? Come to me.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Jerry, did you know that we're farmers?
Farmers? I knew there was a reason I like overalls.
At the Dove, we plant seeds of hope, truth, and the gospel every day.
And when those seeds land in the right hearts, lives change.
But every harvest needs more hands.
That's where you come in.
Today, become a farmer with the Dove. Plant a seed, help it grow.
Your gift reaches someone who needs hope.
Don't wait, join us in this harvest.
Let's grow something eternal together.
Give today at the Dove.
You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for Monterey and the Central California coast. Seen on Channel 14 and these Dove TV affiliates.
Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and I am delighted. It's been quite a while since we had our good friend, Dr. Alex McFarland, back with us today. He's the founder and the president of the Alex McFarland Ministry. He's a youth and religious cultural expert. He's authored over 20 books. He's heard live daily on nearly 200 radio stations across the country, on American Family Radio Network, and the host of the Alex McFarland Show on NRB TV. He serves as the director of the Worldwide for Charis Bible College. They're in Woodland Park, Colorado. Not to mention that he's the king of peanut butter and mint jelly. He does have a website, alexmcfarland.com, and there's the page of that website. Hey, how you doing?
I'm blessed. Good morning, Perry. How are you?
Good, good. Happy Wednesday to you. You got a lot going on. When do you sleep, or do you? You give it up?
Well, yeah, I really don't feel like I do that much. But, Perry, I became a Christian when I was in college at age 21. Shortly thereafter, discovered the works of Josh McDowell.
Oh, yes.
And just wanted to lead my friends to Christ. And I got into, I wasn't in the ministry or anything. I was just a college student. But, I just realized that everybody, they either have a relationship with Jesus or they need a relationship with Jesus. And these are the things to which my life has been committed.
You do a wonderful job. Hey, I want to talk about what's going on with the Board of Education down in Texas and why that's important. You've been tracking that. Tell us what your concerns are.
Well, for one thing, for a long time, I've been concerned about the curriculum in America's public schools. Perry, do you remember the Common Core curriculum that was really launched really during the Clinton years? And I remember I was looking at some of the content, and originally, and Common Core went through several iterations, but, K through 12 public school curriculum that didn't even mention Thomas Jefferson or even, for example, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. of the Civil Rights Movement. And I realized that many years ago, public education was quietly glossing over anything about our history that spoke about God, morality, certainly Christianity. And so, for one thing, I've been very concerned about woke, anti-American, pro-globalist, pro-socialist sentiment in American public schools. Also, parents' rights and the right to choose your child's educational path. And then more and more recently, the imposition of Sharia and Islamic content in public school. So another subject we could talk about perhaps is the mass exodus to Christian education or private education or homeschooling since COVID. But part of what's wrong with our nation is really what about 5 generations of American school children have been taught. In the public school classroom has essentially been a programming ground for compliant young socialists. And that really, we're to the point it's jeopardized our nation.
Multiculturalism in public school has replaced, at the expense, American Judeo-Christian history. And now we're paying the price. Do you think parents are aware of this?
Some are. And I will tell you, the quarantines during COVID were very telling. And I really hate to bring it up. Thankfully, we're now, nearly 6 years removed from all that. But when kids during the quarantines of COVID were being educated online at home by Zoom, many a parent was shocked, i.e. horrified, to hear what their kids were being taught about, multiculturalism and pro-LGBTQ trans content, globalism, things like that. And, there were stories in the news, and we actually heard from parents too, where teachers wanted to be on Zoom with their students, and they would say, have your parents leave the room. I mean, it was just terrible how the public educators that knew they were giving ideology, not knowledge. They were giving narrative, not fact. They didn't want the parents to hear this. And I guess I would make a plea, Perry, for all parents, please be proactively involved in your child's education and what they're getting taught, because many an impressionable young mind, they're not getting truth and fact, they're getting ideology. And so, decades ago, I'm sure you know the story, but really in the 20s and 30s, people like John Dewey and Horace Mann and, the founders of the American humanists, they believed, there's a very famous quote by a guy named John Dunphy, who said the public school classroom would become the new sanctuary and they would program the new religion, the religion of American secular humanism. And, I think about Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, who was an overt racist. She was a part of this movement. Margaret Sanger said horribly, unspeakably racist things against African Americans. And she is the godmother of Planned Parenthood. They believed that they could leverage the public school classroom to reshape America into a godless, communist utopia. And they've almost succeeded, Perry.
Okay, so there's a lot here, Alex. First of all, the proof is in the pudding. America's test scores are the lowest in the world. Oregon is some of the lowest in the United States. And yet, our cost per student is some of the highest in the world, highest in the state. So the results are not performing. And what we're talking about, we've been talking about for a long time, but there doesn't seem to be an antidote to it. There doesn't seem to be an effort to correct the problem. What do we do, Coach?
Well, let me just say this. And I would say this, and I would happily discuss this all day long with anybody. Donald Trump is the greatest president of our lifetime. I loved Ronald Reagan. I voted for Reagan. The first time I ever got to vote was in Reagan's reelection. Revere Ronald Reagan. As great as Reagan was, Donald Trump is the Winston Churchill of our times. And I applaud Trump for attempting to abolish the Department of Education. Because, look, the federalizing of education is not part of the enumerated powers of the Constitution granted to the federal government. So there should be no federal Department of Education. What I would say, and Perry, let me just say this. In our 30 years of ministry and 51 citywide crusades, 2,200 churches, I have no idea how many places I and our staff have spoken, but it's more than 2,000. Here is one of our mantras: lose at anything else but win with your children. Lose at anything else but win with your children. Now, Perry, that being said, I want to say to every Christian, if you love God and country, get your kids out of public school. You say, but how will I do that? There are a myriad of reasons. Surf the website, Exodus Mandate, our friend Dr. E. Ray Moore. There are so many, and it's wonderful. Homeschooling options, classical schools, public, private Christian schools. And I don't care what you have to sacrifice. Martin Luther said it, the great reformer. He said he would advise no parent to allow his children to be educated at any place where God and the scriptures are not paramount. And so, as goes the mind, ultimately goes the soul. And Perry, I give God the glory. We've seen 250,000 Americans walk the aisle and pray to accept Christ. God did it, not me. I give God the glory. Most of these are teens and college students. 250,000 people coming to faith in Christ, getting a biblical worldview. That's what I live for. But here's the point. The thousands and thousands and thousands of young people that I've dialogued with that are atheists, that are pro-LGBTQ trans, that are pro-Hamas. They hate America. They hate Israel. They hate Trump. They are gender fluid. They got this programming in the public schools and secular universities. And I want to say this about, there's no saying go woke, go broke. The very misnamed Human Rights Campaign, HRC, that for decades has been just a political shill for gay and trans activists. About 5 years ago, 250 major corporations affirmed Pride Month, and the HRC, I call it the gay trans mafia, that has bludgeoned companies to go along with Pride Week. Well, now it's down to about 125. And the gay trans mafia is losing ground, thank God. Now, they still have a stranglehold on the American teachers unions. But I am told that for the first time in like forever, Disney in Florida is not going to observe Pride Month in June. Praise God. And all of these major corporations that were threatened with extinction if they didn't fly the rainbow colors, they're beginning to understand that the woke, whether it be the LGBTQ trans, whether it be AOC and the Squad and Marxism, whether it be the pro-Sharia, the CARE lobbyists, all of this, besides being unconstitutional, it's anti-God, it's anti-truth, it's anti-reality, and it's regressive, not progressive. Now, what am I saying, Perry? Let me summarize and I'll throw it back to you. All of us folks, we're in this little brief window called life. And the number one most important thing of life is to know Christ, obviously. But then every one of us, not just David Jeremiah, Franklin Graham, and Perry Atkinson, but all of us, if we're a Christian, we are also a citizen, and we are to be emissaries for truth. We are to rise to the challenge of Jude, verse 3, and earnestly contend for the faith. 1 Peter 3:15, be ready to give an answer. And so, Perry, I think it's all of our assignment to push back the darkness, prayerfully, being informed, being influential, watching shows like Focus Today on theDove. That's a great way to be equipped. I know I get equipped listening to you. And so the majority, Perry, I was on a show with George Barna last week, and still the vast majority of Americans, they love God and country and family and morals and truth. I mean, not only is the truth on our side, the numbers are on our side. But we've got to get out of the comfort zone and make our voice, our vote, and our influence known. We can't let the infinitesimal minority steer this nation and the souls of our children over the brink.
That's so beautifully said, Alex. One quick question before I take a break. There, at the beginning of the president's second term, there was a great move to eliminate the Department of Education. They were cutting it left and right. They're trying to take the loans out of the Department of Education, put it over in the Department of Treasury. All that seemed to stop. Do you have any idea why?
Well, we know the Democrats are going to oppose anything that's reasonable, rational, good, and true. But a lot of it stopped because of activist judges appointed during the Obama years, and also rhino Republicans that are afraid to take a stand on anything. And let me just say this to everybody listening. I beg, I plead, I implore. If you love God and country, we must vote in the midterms. Chuck Schumer, 3 weeks ago, Perry, Democrat leader Chuck Schumer, he said if the Democrats can get the tipping point in the midterms, the next 2 years would be 2 years, a mission of vengeance. That's his word. That's what he said. I mean, you think about this. leaders are duty bound to do that which is good. I mean, if you go into your leadership role simply for retribution and malice and vengeance, you're not acting in good faith. I mean, the last thing on any Democrat's agenda is God and country and the welfare of the American citizens. I mean, all of the illegals, in the last year of Biden's presidency, illegals committed 290,000 felonies, including 4,553 murders by illegals, American citizens. And so for Chuck Schumer, and I know he speaks for the vast majority of Democrats, but he said that the next 2 years will be, quote, a mission of vengeance on Trump and his policies. Folks, look, I wish them no ill. All those lost, unsaved, hell-bound Democrats, they need Jesus. They do. So I pray for them. I really do. But even if you're only moderately tangentially involved in politics, folks, I've taught political science at the college and grad levels for 20 years. I'm just telling you, the future of our Constitution is at stake. Is Trump perfect? Is he ready to pastor? No. But I assure you, the history books are going to be very good to Donald Trump. He's not made easy decisions. He's made good decisions. And we need to keep he and actual constitutional conservatives in office.
Right.
Perry, I don't think a born-again Christian could ever vote for a Democrat under any circumstances. Anti-God, anti-morals, anti-life, anti-marriage, anti-parents' rights, anti-human moral responsibility, anti-Israel. I mean, I think if you said water is wet, the Democrats would be wrong on that.
Yeah. All right, let me take a quick break. Go to alexmcfarland.com. That's where you can check out a lot of his books and support what he does, because he has an amazing outreach to young people through the summer months. alexmcfarland.com. We'll be right back.
Do events in the world leave you confused? A world where up is down and down is up.
Mornings on the Dove knows how you feel. We're here to offer God's hope and encouragement and to help you to sort it all out.
Alerting you to the truth that the mainstream media would rather you not know.
Common sense discussions on what's really going on.
That will leave you better informed and encouraged by the gospel.
In this upside-down world,
get it straight.
Watch Mornings on the Dove weekdays.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Once again, our very own Dove TV was recognized for excellence by the National Religious Broadcasters with the prestigious Station of the Year Award for 2026.
And this year's recipient of TV Station of the Year Award is Dove TV.
This makes 9 times the Dove has been honored by our peers with this celebrated national award. We're grateful, and another reason to stay encouraged and informed by watching and supporting the Dove TV.
Okay, welcome back, and always an honor to have with us our good friend Dr. Alex McFarland. He's the founder of the Alex McFarland Ministries. He's authored over 20 books. He's also heard on the American Family Radio Network with the Alex McFarland Show and seen on the NRB TV as well. We're talking about a variety of things. And Alex, I want to come back. I realize public education is it's just an amazing mess, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's every time I talk about education, it's just amazing. And I really feel sorry for the good people who are caught in it, that don't know what to do. And they've been intimidated to do nothing, or very little, I should say. And I'm all pro-education. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against education. But given what you just laid down before us, there's something else going on. And it's been given the term of a silent revival. There is a move among young people that they're waking up, that the culture's lied to them, the government's lied to them, maybe even their parents have lied to them, and they're seeking, especially young males, they're seeking. Yeah. And they are open. I mean, if there's ever a time for the Christian community to be sensitive to the fact that the culture has produced a white unto harvest ready, I don't know what our purpose would be if we don't see this.
Yeah. Amen. You know, Perry, just several days ago, it was Easter, Resurrection Sunday, praise God. And perhaps you saw it in the news on Monday that church attendance was up like 40% all across America, across all denominations. And the number one leader of those that are coming back to churches are young males, right? That's wonderful. Now, I want to say this. The statistics are clear. The churches that are seeing upticks are the more theologically conservative churches. And perhaps we could do another show another time about how the more, I mean, it's just mathematically documentable. The more liberal, the more woke and progressive a church or denomination is, the more likely they are to continue losing congregants. So young people are coming back to church. Many young men are coming back to church. And the churches that are garnering these spiritual seekers and new visitors are the more theologically conservative churches. And Perry, that's really, really good news, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And Dr. Barner will back that up and others that this is happening. So do you think we are ready for them to come in? Because they don't look like us, they don't dress like us, they don't think like us, but they're drawn to us. Are we ready for this?
Some are, some aren't. But let me say this. Here's the beautiful thing about the gospel. And, more than a few people have noted this. Over 20 centuries, the gospel has worked in every culture. Highly developed, westernized nations, urban areas, very rural, agrarian areas, in the East, in the West, Jew, Gentile, Oriental, Occidental. The message that the Son of God died on the cross for our sins. He rose again from the dead. We put our faith in Jesus. We are forgiven. The good news gospel of Jesus works everywhere it is proclaimed. And that's wonderful. So I want to say, whether you're a contemporary church or more of a high church or whatever, listen, I don't care if somebody comes in a three-piece suit or shorts and flip-flops. They're a human. God loves them. We'll tell them how Jesus is as close by as a prayer. And let's take people where they are as they are. And let me just say this too. And Perry, I'm going to say something that some are going to find controversial. And you feel free to push back on this. The Bible says in 1 John 5:1, whoever believes that Jesus is the Christ is born of God. Now think about this. Whoever believes that Jesus is the Christ is born of God. That's 1 John 5:1. Now, I got saved to a Protestant church. I was ordained. I've preached all over, Protestant, Catholic, Greek Orthodox. Catholic universities I've spoken at. In fact, twice by invitation, I was asked to do a biblical worldview weekend at a Catholic church. And I'm meeting young people, Perry, and they're so spiritually hungry. And they'll say, hey, I'm going to church. And I've started there, near my college, there's a Catholic church, and I've been attending Catholic churches and Bible studies. And somebody just said to me in an interview yesterday, you know, why are you celebrating that even conservative Catholic churches are getting more and more attendees? I said, look, our culture is so secularized. I'm just thrilled they're going anywhere that is remotely Christian. And one thing I want to encourage people to pray for is that, well, a couple of things. For one, pray for unity in the body of Christ. Now, Perry, I'm on tour right now. We're doing Revive U.S. rallies all over America. By the way, folks, if you want to do a multi-church, multi-denominational, multi-generational, multi-ethnic, citywide crusade, just go to my website, alexmcfarland.com. No charge. We're not asking for money. We will come to your city as we've done in 51 previous cities. And we've had, Perry, as few as 500 people, as high as 8,000 people. I want to bring the Revive US rally to the cities of everyone watching. But here's my point. We need to pray for unity in the body of Christ. And we need to pray also for the young people to desire and seek the Word of God. And I guess I would say this, Perry, we are so near a national extinction. We do not have the time to set the leisure to be sequestered in our own silos. People say, oh, some young people are going to, Catholic churches. Well, praise God. They're going to hear about morals, marriage, life, Jesus, the deity of Christ, the Trinity. Listen, if you're a Jesus follower, we must link arms and be brothers in arms and foot soldiers together. Now, I know I'm a Protestant. I've got an opinion on everything. But at this point, we have got to unify the message of Christ, and just urge people to get in church. The Spirit of God will give them discernment and direct them where they ultimately land within the various camps. Calvinist, non-Calvinist, charismatic, non-charismatic, I don't care. Just come to Jesus and his word, and the Holy Spirit will disciple you where to land and blossom and bear fruit.
So let me give you just one word on that.
Okay.
Amen.
Really? Amen.
Yeah.
Hey, Perry, again, 1 John 5:1, whoever believes that Jesus is the Christ is born of God. D.L. Moody, who in 27 years, in the 1800s, D.L. Moody, from the time he got saved to the time he died, was under 3 decades, and he turned the world upside down. He really did, for the gospel. Mm-hmm. D.L. Moody said this: God is pleased when Christians work together. I believe that, Gary. I really do.
Brother, good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for being you.
Amen.
Thank you for being there. Let me sort our viewers and listeners, go to the alexmcfarland.com website. Not only can you check out, crusades, possibly, but also help him, because he does these camps throughout the summer with young people and bringing them into a biblical worldview. alexmcfarland.com. Good to see you, brother. Take care, pal.
Love and prayers, my friend. Thank you.
You too.
The crisis inside Ukraine has reached a catastrophic level, with the elderly Jews pushed to the very limit.
Go inside. She's freezing cold. There's no electricity, no heat, no water. Winter is now a weapon of war, used against the elderly, the mothers, and the young children.
They've been lined up here for hours. These are precious people who are hungry, and they have nothing. If someone doesn't do something soon, a humanitarian disaster is coming. So many Jewish people who are just waiting for someone to care enough to pick up the phone.
Fears are growing that without an emergency, full-scale response, thousands will die this winter.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews needs your $25 gift now to help rush a winter survival food box of emergency food for elderly Jews and families in Ukraine. Time is critical. Please give now.
They felt the shaking of missiles. These are people who have already endured so much suffering and disaster.
The fellowship has been here and across the former Soviet Union for decades, but the need has never been more urgent.
Taking out power, taking out water, simple water to drink. We're talking about the difference between life or death. Christian, Jew, standing shoulder to shoulder, saying, we're here to heal, we're here to help.
Your gift of only $25 helps rush a winter survival food box filled with life-saving emergency food for elderly Jews and families in Ukraine who are struggling daily to stay warm and fed. Please call or go online while there is still time.
Okay, welcome back. Just wanted to take a few moments today to say again thank you for your partnership with here at the Dove. We just so value greatly you coming alongside and helping us do what we do. We wouldn't be on the air if it wasn't for your partnership. It's as simple as that. We are launched this week a little thing called the Spring Boost, and it's not a little thing, it's a big thing actually. And I've been trying to figure out a way that I would explain this to you that makes sense, but let me just say this, that we have experienced in the last 2 months one of the greatest drops in our revenue that we've ever experienced. So I began to look into this without panicking and trusting the Lord. There's several things that are notable. One is I'm talking to a lot of other ministry leaders, and they are experiencing the same thing. And when you begin to unwind this, obviously I think what it is the high gas prices and the economy and the war has got a lot of people anxious, and I totally understand that. I think we are all making adjustments based upon the fact that we weren't counting on $4, $5, $6, and $7 gallons of gas. It's impacting our lives one-on-one, as well as it relates to ministries, various ministries all over the place. So when I began to unwind this for the Dove, I looked back and I thought, wow, you know, I saw it begin to happen, and then all of a sudden it just kind of like really happened. And so we're asking you to prayerfully consider supporting the Dove if you've never done so. Now, let me explain this carefully, okay? Because I don't want you to think and walk away from our moment here that the Dove's all about money. It's not. We're called to do what we do through media. And the media platforms around the world are changing as we speak. Radio broadcasting is changing, television broadcasting is changing, streaming is changing, texting, various sites and platforms, whether it's through social media, or all of these things together have created an amazing opportunity to reach people. But it's also moved people in various directions where you become reliable on other things. At the same time, other platforms like ours continues to grow. And yet, what we're in it for is not bigness. We're in it for impact. We work hard to make sure that the programming that's on the Dove and the radio, TV and radio, are programs that you can rely upon, that theologically they're sound. You can trust these people. And believe me, they are getting an amazing response with their ministries, not only throughout the Dove Network, but other networks that they're on. So our mission here is the gospel, and the delivery is media. What happens beyond that point, we don't know sometimes until we hear back from people. But I can tell you this, that the anxiety of the culture, the war, just what's happened in the United States, high gas prices, if you could just read some of our prayer requests, you kind of go, oh my stars, people are hurting. I mean, they are really having some tough times across the board, relationally, health-wise, financial, job-wise, just overall anxiousness. When you read these prayer requests, you realize, wow, people need the Lord unlike we've ever seen ever before. You would think living in America and in a modern society that we wouldn't have these problems. No, we got them, and boy, they are significant. And there's a lot of them, and just about everybody. In fact, I would say everybody, no matter who you are right now, you're dealing with something, and you're asking the Lord to intervene. And so the Dove's mission is to be here to remind you that God is faithful, that He is there, His word is true. And we're also here for people who are seeking, wanting to know, is there a God? Does He really love me? Is there a heaven? Is there an answer to all this nonsense? Is there really truth out there versus all the lies that the culture has given me? So we're at that point where it's just an amazing opportunity. And we've experienced here in the last 2 months a significant drop. And I'm going, whoa. I mean, we've been through these lows before, you know, and you kind of work your way through them and you budget and you do all this. But boy, the last 2 months have been amazing. And you kind of go, wow, what do you do? And we really have literally, like you would, you stop doing some things. And you say no to some things. You just don't do it. And so you're going to see over the next week or two an opportunity for you to prayerfully consider supporting the Dove. Now, one other little point here that you really need to understand, because I say it a lot, but you need to know why I say it a lot, because I believe it. The Dove is not on the air and is not here to replace your church. That's not our role. Our role is to support what your pastor is telling you and what you're learning in your church on a 24-hour basis. So don't take from your church. You should be involved in a church. You should be supporting a church. And many of you are also not only involved in the church, but you're involved in ministries outside the church. We call them parachurch ministries. Maybe it has to do with addiction. Maybe it has to do with counseling. Maybe it has to do with feeding people. Maybe it has to do just loving people. Those parachurch ministries, we have a lot of them here in our backyard and throughout our area. If you're involved in one of those, you need to stay faithful to that, because that's what God called you to do. And I've often said, whatever God saves you from or brings you through, He turns around and makes you a minister too. So there's a high probability that you're involved in a ministry that has impacted your life, and you want to turn around and give back to that, and you should. And you should stay faithful to that. The Dove's mission is reaching people through media, and it's still a percentage that has not changed probably in the last 5 or 6 years, and that is around 84% of the Dove's revenue comes from viewers and listeners. Yes, we do have some commercials on the television side. We have business sponsors on the radio side. We're now launching another platform, which is what we call non-commercial, that will be business sponsorships on that. But even all of that, vast majority of the Dove's revenue comes from viewers and listeners just like you. So we're asking you to pray about helping us get out of this slump that we're in so we can continue. I had to tell you something. It's hard for me to do this. Somewhere between my evangelistic side and my business side, I struggle a lot, because business says, be careful, don't. And the evangelistic side says, jump out of the boat and walk on the water, you know. But we've had to turn down some opportunities where we could have taken the Dove programming to other platforms. We just couldn't do it. We just stopped back at it. So pray about it over the next whatever time the Lord leads you to do. And you can support the Dove very carefully. There's several ways. I think we have a little thing you can see here. In fact, we're calling it the Become a Farmer. This is really cute. But what we're asking you to do is help us plant seeds. And that's what we do. The Dove plants seeds in people's hearts and minds and souls. And then I think part of the Dove's mission is to water those seeds and help them to grow and to mature and to become fruitful. God is in charge of the harvest, not us. We're to plant, we're to prepare the soil, we're to take out the weeds, we're to water, and we're to help it to grow. And you're a part of that. So when you partner with the Dove, you become a farmer right alongside of us. So there's several ways you can do that. You can go online at theDove.us. That's a safe and secure site. And by the way, it won't be long. We'll be showing you our new site. It's under construction right now, but we'll be launching that shortly. Or you can call anytime at 541-776-5368, and you can support the Dove there. And if you get a busy signal, excuse me, just call back. And there's Melinda and Jerry being farmers. Kind of cute. But the point being is that when you partner with the Dove, you're literally become a farmer. And what I mean by that is you're helping us prepare the soil in people's lives to receive the seed of the gospel, to grow and to mature and to become fruitful, and to turn around and become disciples of Christ as well. So I won't share with you all of the details of it. It just all of a sudden, boom, it lasts too much. You kind of watch it, and and I do that all day long. And but we found ourselves, it's like all of a sudden things just stopped there for a while. But look, I want you to understand something here. Partnering the Dove is, it's kind of like, I kind of even having a hard time explaining it. You're touching lives literally all over the world. I never dreamt that our programming would reach the world. But in today's technology, it happens. It does through streaming. It does through websites. We do it through broadcasting. The other day, we sat down and we looked at our radio audience, and we looked at our television audience, and the stations. We partner with a lot of people that own radio and television stations that are not ours. I mean, we have the ones that we own, but we have a lot that we partner with. Well, when you add that all up, it's a potential broadcast audience of 14 million people that goes from north of Portland all the way down through California, through the Bay Area, and all the way down to Fresno. And so you never know who tunes in. You never know why they tune in. You don't have any idea what they're carrying when they tune in. And they start watching in the privacy or listening in the privacy of their home or their car or on their phone or whatever. And then all of a sudden something clicks and somebody says something, and the journey begins and the seed gets planted. So pray about supporting the Dove. You can call anytime at 541-776-5368, or you can safely and securely go online at theDove.us. And let me just say to you, from all of us here at the Dove, thank you. We can't do this without you. There's no way. We wouldn't be on the air without you. The Lord has blessed us with the facility to grow and go and do more programming. Even that had to be put on hold for a while. So pray about it, and I just want to say thank you, and stay faithful to what God called you to do. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Breakfast served daily until 2 p.m. Breakfast burritos, biscuits and gravy, skillets, omelets, and more. Sweet Tea Express. Don't get caught hungry.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why at Kelly's, it's automotive service with a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
But it's just hard to believe that the United Nations goes into this Emergency Security Council to condemn the war on a nation that has killed 40,000 plus of its own people.
For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted, quote, "Death to America."
What good is the United Nations?
News with a little bit of common sense. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays 6 to 8 a.m.
All right, welcome back. And of course, foreign policy, a subject that we hear a lot these days. Each administration has their own, and some people like it, some people don't. And what is it really all about? Wow, what an honor to have with us today Charles Goyette. He's a New York Times best-selling author, award-winning talk show host. He was a news anchor there with the Armed Forces Radio and Television Service, and joined with former presidential candidate Ron Paul for his nationally syndicated commentary, The Ron Paul's America. He's the recipient of the Army Accommodation Medal for meritorious services, and he is the author of his latest book entitled Empire of Lies, Fragments from the Memory Hole. And there's a picture of the cover of the book. It does have a website, empireoflies.com, and there's the picture of the landing page there. Charles, good to see you. How are you, friend?
Well, Perry, it's a great honor to be on your show. Thank you so very much.
You bet. Where are you? Where are we talking to you from?
We're in kind of in the country in East Tennessee. We left the city 2 years ago, Scottsdale, Phoenix area, and moved out here. And now we have, deer and raccoons and a creek down the road and things like that. So I think it was a good move at a good time.
So you don't have any ice on your windshield, basically, right?
Oh.
Hey, thanks for your time. We have a lot to cover in a short amount of time, so I want to get as much as we can in, and then we'll get you back. Thank you for your work. What made you to dive into this?
Well, I was a talk show host in Phoenix, Arizona when the Iraq War broke out, and it was very costly to me professionally to speak out against the Iraq War. And it was even the editorial pages of the Arizona Republic, the big newspaper there, said, "What is this guy, some sort of terrorist lover or something?" And it was very costly. But finally, I think when Trump came down the elevator, or in the first presidential debates back then in 2016, he said, we've been lied into the war. And Perry, to me, it was a little bit like, the boy calling out that the king has no clothes on. All of a sudden, everybody kind of nodded. And yeah, at this point, it's almost inescapable that we've been lied into war. So I look at what the American people have suffered in the last couple of decades or even generations, and it's a little bit like Stockholm Syndrome. We know that we're being lied to. We've been lied to about the Kennedy assassination. That's clear on the record now. The Tonkin Gulf resolution that led to 58,000 American deaths in a fruitless war, WMDs, COVID, the Epstein affair. And so my objective is to show people where if they don't value the truth, if they don't re-enthrone the truth and as an expectation from their state and the establishment, then our trajectory is very grim indeed.
Okay, and to back up what you're saying today, having so many other places to get your news is now letting the cat out of the bag. And we've been under this cover-up for so long, it's created a who can we trust and who is telling the truth. It's kind of scary. In fact, it's real scary that we've been lied to so long. Where do we go for the truth, Charles?
Well, maybe people should go to your show and go to my book, but at least it's available now, more or less. And there are strenuous efforts to deplatform the truth and to deplatform people. But I think the basic place to start is with a fundamental skepticism about the things that we are told. And it goes on all the time, Perry, and even the most recent, I like to talk about the ones that were important to me, the WMDs or the Kennedy assassination. But even more recently, we had the stunning thing that happened in Syria. The deep state wanted to replace the regime in Syria, but we were treated to such spectacles as jihadists in Syria armed by the CIA were fighting other jihadists or fundamentalists that were armed by the Pentagon. So I guess that's a great deal if you're a defense manufacturer. It's not so good for the American people. But at the end of it all, the deep state installed somebody the American people didn't know that they knew. His name was Jelani, but he's now the president of Syria. And as recently as just over a year ago, he had a $10 million bounty on his head by the U.S. State Department for his terrorist activities. And now he's somehow been sanitized and he's feted and welcomed at the White House. I mean, did the American people know when they marched off to wars in the Middle East? Did they know when they sent their sons and daughters off to war? Did they know when the global military empire deprived them of $8 trillion for these wars? Did they know that they were going to end up installing a al-Qaeda ISIS affiliate as the head of Syria for a regime change operation that was only one of a sequence that have been going on?
Okay, let me ask you this. What's your take on Ukraine? That was me, by the way. Sorry about that. That was me, by the way. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was me. We had a little technical thing. Sorry about that.
Okay.
What's your take on Ukraine? How are we being manipulated with Ukraine and Russia?
Yeah. You know, even the New York Times, you know, when it doesn't matter anymore, Napoleon said the truth doesn't have to be destroyed, it just has to be suppressed till it doesn't matter. But when it finally didn't matter anymore, even the New York Times last year did a piece about how close we came to a nuclear Cold War in Ukraine, and disclosed that we'd gotten to the point, the American people did not know this, that we were organizing and managing Ukrainians attacking Russia within Russia. And as this was going on, the Russian leadership was changing their nuclear doctrine. It used to be purely for deterrence. Then all of a sudden they started talking about, well, we will do it, you know, we will do it to fend off any encroachments on our territory. And they kept modifying it. We came very close. Even the Times finally had to acknowledge how close we came. But the fundamental story in the background is that the American people, as you know, as a growing number of people know, the end of the evil empire, the end of the Soviet Union was a wonderful thing, and all we gave them is all they asked. And they asked that you can bring Germany into NATO if you wish, you can expand NATO if you want, but don't put NATO on our border. This was a clearly understood agreement, and then President Clinton went ahead and began to expand NATO onto the borders of Russia. Well, these are the borders that Russia was attacked by Kaiser Bill, by Napoleon, by Hitler, and they don't want to live through that sort of thing again. It was perfectly rational for them to insist that they would step down their empire and free all those states, all those slave states, in my view, and yet ask only in response that we not put a military alliance right on their border, yet we did so anyway.
What's your take on Iran these days?
Yeah, Iran is a terrible tragedy, and I have a piece that was just published today about the deep state actors that are promoting a new president for Iran, and it is the son of the prior Shah.
Right.
And my take is very clearly that the American people don't have any business replacing governments and regimes around the world. Where have we done it well? We didn't do it well in Libya. We got rid of Gaddafi, and now there are open slave markets there. We didn't do it well in Syria, obviously. We didn't do it well in Iraq. We don't do it well anywhere. And the idea that we could go into another country like Syria or like Iran and ignite a conflagration of some sort without knowing the consequences is something that should cause all Americans to write their congressman. And you know, in fact, matter of fact, Perry, I want to say this. It even goes back earlier than that, because the right to declare war is lodged clearly in the Constitution to Congress, and Congress has not declared war. Now, if the American people want a war so badly with Iran, they can let their representatives know and we can have a vote on it. But in the meantime, we can't stand this constant usurpation of our constitutional prerogatives to be taken over by the growth of the state. If the state were so good at managing the affairs of other nations, why can't they manage their own? We're almost $40 trillion in unpayable debt here in the United States now, and it's growing by leaps and bounds.
What's your take on what's going on in Minnesota and Minneapolis?
Yeah, it's a complicated situation, and I believe the country should be able to maintain its borders, first of all. I think what it calls for is a two-prong, a holistic, a profit and loss, a two-sided of the balance sheet approach. So in my view, the administration should have been more clear, and they tried, and they've tried better now in the last few days, that they are going after criminals first. It's like a triage situation. You arrive at a calamity, and the medical people say, okay, that guy has a broken arm, but this guy's bleeding to death. We work on the bleeding to death guy. So I believe they should have made it very clear that they were going after criminals, thugs, killers, murderers, first of all. But at the same time, I say it's got to be holistic, or it's got to be two sides. At the same time, we need to do something about the welfare magnet that leaves these people to believe they can come to the United States and be sustained at our expense. But, Rand Paul wasn't able to get a $5 billion measure passed to stop $5 billion in funding for illegal immigrants the other day. So I think we need to do it on both sides. The magnet that draws people here to think that they can survive at the expense of the American taxpayer, and then to be more clear that we're in a triage situation. We start at the top with the most dangerous people, and then we can work our way down.
Okay, good stuff. I'm trying to cover a lot of ground. We'll get you back, Charles. But let me ask you the last one here. To your previous point of how we have handled trying to manage other countries, what's your take on what happened in Venezuela?
Yeah, it's a great example, and I'm so glad you brought it up. Venezuela was an objective of the deep state for a very long time, and they were only in search for a pretext. Fentanyl was the latest pretext. But 10 years ago, President Obama issued a national security alert, a national security finding that Venezuela recommended a grave and serious threat to the American people. Well, I went back and looked at their military might at the time. It was a broken down country. It had no military might. I detail it in my book, just what they had. They couldn't have landed a couple of little skiffs on the Jersey Shore. There was no grave national security threat. But the deep state still has its eye on Venezuela, and only the pretext has changed. Now it's no longer a grave national security threat to us militarily. It's fentanyl and their drug running activities. There are bigger drug runners out there. But to me, it's like the new WMD. Before the Iraq War, the White House Iraq group got together and they said, we've got to figure out a phrase, some sort of objective, some sort of explanation or rationale for going into Iraq that the people will buy. And eventually they came up with, the smoking gun in the form of a mushroom cloud. Well, it wasn't true, but now we have, it's all about fentanyl, but they've wanted to take Venezuela for a very long time. And I note the other day that a similar national security executive order was issued by the president to declare the grave national security threat America faces from Cuba. From Cuba? From broken down, impoverished Cuba? Oh my, we've become so very fragile then.
So what's your take on his being the president's interpretation of the Monroe Doctrine?
Yeah, I have a sentimental attachment to the Monroe Doctrine, but the Monroe Doctrine doesn't enable.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course along